What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, friends and family? Yes, it is Tuesday, August 25th, 2026, year of our Lord, KP. Top of the day, Sabrina, Jordan's World, Carmen, TM Speaks. What up to everybody inside of the chat? What's happening, friends and family? What's the word? What's happening? Oh, I see what y'all want me to talk about. Y'all want me to talk about yada. We'll get there. We'll get there. We will get there. Sure we will. What's up, chat? What up, family? What up to everybody inside of the chat? I appreciate y'all for continuing to hold me down and rock with me. Another day, another opportunity to do great things. It's up. Temps is finally going down here. Yeah, that's true. But you know, fall is three things. All right, let me tell you what fall is. Fall is three things. AD posted on IG a bunch. I don't want to hear that, K Cooper. fall, fall, fall is three things, y'all. The first thing that fall is football season. So sports season, you might as well just say football and basketball. That's 1 and 2. All right. 1 and 2 is football and basketball season. That's what fall is. It's a good time. It's a good time of the year. The second thing the third thing that fall is get fresh weather. Yeah. Fall is get fresh weather. That's the time when you could dress your freshest. The gear for fall is always sick. It's always top of the top. It's always what we need it to be. Mr. Lot says the Panda Bears have given up a 12-0 run and need to call a timeout. Y'all so messy. All right, let's just go ahead and peel the Band-Aid off. Rip the Band-Aid off real quick. Mr. Lot with the 10 ball. I appreciate you for being the first person contributed into the platform and holding me down. Let's go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and let's just have this conversation, all right? So, Mr. Awakening, obviously, I couldn't have got no less than about 300 or 400 different emails, text messages, instant messages, DMs, all of this type of stuff. And so everybody was reaching out to me yesterday, obviously, and for good reason, because they wanted me to comment on what happened or what's going on with this whole yada situation. So two things. The first thing is that he's allegedly been accused of abusive behavior, physically abusive behavior. And the second thing is that they're saying that his wife is filing for divorce. All right. So I'm going to address both of these things really, really quickly. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I'm only going to spend 10, 15 minutes on it. And then we're going to go from there. I think I am looking to maybe I'm looking to do a fur this year. Maybe I go all the way Detroit and go a fur. Loso way. I think you're wrong. You said I was like AD about to cook them. For me, that's low-hanging fruit, right? What I am going to do is show an incredible amount of grace, integrity, and consistency. And let me tell you why. It's because I don't change my position, nor do I change how I feel about a situation, regardless of the person that is in the situation. If y'all remember, when I did the debate with Yada, the one thing that I didn't do, and he actually thanked me He contacted me, he called me, he got in touch with me, and he thanked me because I did not bring up previous allegations of abuse that was levied against him in the debate. That was a weak, low-hanging fruit type of situation. I wanted to show prowess. I wanted to show that I was intellectually superior and that I had better talking points in an official 1v1 debate. And I felt like that was low-hanging fruit to bring up any past allegations that had nothing to do with the conversation whatsoever. So I had a lot of grace and a lot of respect then and integrity, and I'm going to have a lot of grace and a lot of respect now. All right. So the first thing that I want to address is these allegations of abuse. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted, not at what y'all think I'm disgusted at. I'm disgusted at the guys. I am. If you want to address him being a panda bear, if you want to address, and I'm going to get to that in a minute, and if you want to address him finessing the women, that's one thing. But I'm going to approach this with the same type of approach that I have for every single person. I do not believe by default anything on the surface that a woman says. And if those allegations are true, the only way that I'm going to condemn you is if it is proven in a court of law, because a lot of people say a lot of things when they get bitter, when they go through a divorce, when they're going through a breakup, and when they want to get sympathy from the general public. I know. The first thing that people wanted me to do was throw him under the bus, destroy him, go off on him. I'm pretty sure that y'all will have a lot of people that do that. Y'all can go to a lot of different platforms and they will do that. But the one thing that I am is consistent. It's consistent. And what I'm going to say is I'm going to give him the exact same perspective as I give everybody that is accused of something from somebody, especially when they're going through a situation or they're going through a divorce. I am not going to just automatically, by default, say that he abused her, that he did anything. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I know it is something that I can do, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not. I don't care how many people he pandered to. I don't care about any of that type of stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go. Somebody says, why do you defend people like this? Am I defending him, Tiffany? Or am I saying that we should wait until the evidence comes out before we jump to conclusions and start to say that somebody did or they didn't? Because the one thing that you can't come back from is somebody accusing you of something that you didn't do. So I don't know if he did it, and I don't know if he did. I'm absolutely against abuse. I'm absolutely against putting somebody in a duress type of situation and putting your hands on them. I think that everybody should keep their hands to themselves. And I also think that everybody deserves their right. Listen. Show enough. You said, Mr. Daniels, you getting soft. Nope, I'm getting mature. Just because I don't do the same thing that everybody else does. Y'all so messy. Y'all looking for a bloodbath. The only reason that you want me to talk about this is that you want me to throw him under the bus and you want me to destroy him. But at what cost? Because I am not about to destroy my own integrity just for the sake of doing this, for the sake of the conversation. I'm not going to change the way that I consistently approach every situation. I said the same thing about Diddy. I said the same thing about Jay-Z. I said the same thing about Shannon. I said the same thing about any person, excuse me, anybody that is accused to where actual legal repercussions can come against them. I say, I want to see the evidence. I said the same thing about Big Tigger. I want to see the evidence, because let me tell you what I'm not going to be soft on. I'm not going to be soft on her. See, everybody is missing a plot. I'm going to get to the pandering part in a second. Give me a second. Let me cook this, because you got to segment this into two different separate situations. Why are y'all feeling sorry for her when she was the one that was sitting up right next to him, pretending like everything was cool? That's the real conversation, is that now she's seeking sympathy, and now she's sitting there pretending like, oh my God, when she was sitting up there saying, yes, a woman deserves $100,000 payment. We having the wrong conversations. If something happened physically, then show me the police report. If something happened abusive to her, then show me the evidence. But what I do want to know is, why is everybody extending sympathy to somebody that was participatory in the salesmanship that he used in order to finesse a bunch of women into pandering to him? I don't know if he's abusive or if he is not abusive. I would wait for the evidence in the same way that I say for every single person. And for every dude out there that can't wait to throw another dude under the bus, I could really see the type of character that you own. Because listen, it's easy. This is easy work. We done already been through this. We done seen this happen before. We done been through it with Derek Jackson or whatever. This is low-hanging fruit to me. This is very, very low-hanging fruit to me. There's going to be 1,000 people that live stream and said, oh, man, yeah, he was pandering. Nigga, who didn't know that he was pandering? The only people, you know why I'm not tripping off of Yada? Because the only people that got finesse is the women. The women are the dummies. The women are the ones that's the dummies. They bought into it. I looked at the comments of the different people. I done already did multiple videos. I debated him in person. I don't have to go back and forth and tell you what my perspective is. I've already done that. I'm not tripping on him because y'all the ones that fall for the okie doke. You the dummies. Y'all the ones that for years have been sending me this information and saying, oh my God, look, this is what you should be doing as a man. And y'all the ones that fell for the okie doke. You the dummies. Listen, you deserve everything that you got. I called him out in person. I don't have to do a whole live stream about what I believe, because my beliefs are consistent with what I said to him to his face. As far as allegations, I'm going to keep it consistent across the board. I want to see the paperwork. I want to see the evidence. I want to see the police report. As far as the pandering, you the fool. You the dummy. Every man in the world told you, man, this dude is pandering. And he not the only one. He not the only one. There are super panda bears out there. And the women is, and you know why? You know why I don't have any negative disposition? Is because it's not like you're going to stop. You have seen this time and time again. There has been example after example, after example, after example, after example, after example, after example of guy here, pander, 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 pander. And the women is not going to stop it because they love eating that shit up. They love getting pandered to. They love getting finessed. What you want me to do? Listen, I'm not gonna go off of him for finessing you for believing something that we told you not to believe in the first place. That's your fault. You the dummy. I hope you bought all of the noni juice from him. I hope you bought all of the clothing. I hope you ate it up. I hope you ruined your relationship thinking that that was what the standard was, when in the whole time he was finessing you. I'm the person that come up here and keep it 100 with you. I keep it 100 with you 100% of the time, and you hate it, and you get offended by it, and you get in your emotions as a result of it. And then Tonstradamus is right again. Sometimes it takes years. Sometimes it takes months. Sometimes it takes weeks. Sometimes it takes 5 years. But eventually, what does God say? What does the word of God say? You will know them by their fruit. Shit, I'm the last of a dying breed. Who left? Who left that's married? Hold on, let's talk about it. No, 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 no. Yes, yes. Who's left? Somebody, look, niggas want to wish it on me. AD can't say much. He might be next. Bro, listen, listen, listen. I'm not a fly by night dude. I am 22 years in. Hold on, listen. Listen to what I'm saying. I am 22 years in as a winner. I already won. I already beat everybody. I beat everybody. I beat all the competition. I'm richer than them. I'm more successful than them. My family is better than theirs, and my marriage is more secure than ever before. I'm the only one left. And you want and we got the Maddies. It's always gonna be a nigga in the chat that show up and say, "Man, I'm gonna be next." That's because they've been wishing on my downfall since they noticed me on the internet. I'm the only one left. And the only reason why I'm winning is because I stand in my masculinity regardless. I'm the only one left. The only one. Who else is there? Who got more time on the books? Who has showed you more receipts? Who has been consistent the entire time? And who has given you the blueprint on how to be successful? Who? No pandering. No, none of that. Just being real, being consistent, being honest, and keeping it real. Everybody is done. Everybody done. Matter of fact, I will go so far as to say I think that I am the last of the Mohicans because in most relationships, it's over. Yeah, they praying on my downfall. They praying on my downfall. But that's okay though. That's okay. That's okay. It's all right. That's what Maddies do. That's why you got to be aware of what's going on around you because it could be the very ones that's next to you that pray for your downfall. That's why I move solo. That's why I don't have no extra friends, none of that other type of stuff. I don't do none of that. I'm chilling. I'm consistent. I keep it 100% of the time. People talk a lot of stuff. A lot of people that made a lot of money saying it, but I want y'all to also give me my credit too. With all of the negativity that y'all have talked about me over the years, I want you to give me some positive promotion too. I'm it. I'm it. That's it. There is no other visible content creator that actually will tell you and show you that has over 2 decades in the game that's giving you insight on how you can go about doing it the right way. 2 decades. Not yesterday, not last year, not 4 years ago, not 5 years ago. I'm not going to be like everybody else. I'm not going to try to throw him under the bus when he's down because I want you at your best. When I go against people, I don't want to go against people when they at their lowest, when they suffering. I want to go against people when you at the top of the top, so I can say that you ain't got no excuses on what you doing and why you doing it. This is light work. Really, the only reason that I'm addressing this is for two reasons. Number one is to show you the consistency in that I'm not gonna switch up just because I don't necessarily, because I live by three rules. Three main rules. Number one, I don't wish death on nobody. Number two, and y'all know this, I've been saying this for years, I don't wish jail on nobody. And number three, I don't wish for anybody not to be able to feed their family. The only people that should be hurt right now are the women that got finessed into buying some noni juice or whatever it was that he was selling. To the general public. Y'all, the ones that bought into the BS. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me see something. I'm gonna show you. I gotta call somebody that fell into the BS.
Good morning.
Hi, Carrie. I'm on a live stream. How are you doing today? Of
course you are, Anton Daniels.
Are you listening or are you not listening today?
I feel like I'm caught.
So, Carrie, you told me about how you were impressed with Yada.
Oh, okay, listen. Can I tell you what I'm looking at right now that I was gonna send you?
I warned you. I told you. I told you.
The girl, I can't think of her name. Her thing just came up on my Instagram. I'm literally looking at her IG story right now when you just called me. I didn't know. I stopped following.
I already had told you years ago.
But they were still going and married and rolling. I still don't even know the whole story because I'm in the middle of her stories.
All of that was a finesse. I told you.
Well, okay, in fairness to me, I was not advocating for him as a whole person. I just said I liked what he was saying about health. I did say that. You go back. I said that. And I promise you, after I was going to finish watching her stories, I was going to send it to you. Like, dang, Anton, look what happened. Oh, my God. God, I'm not laughing at her pain because she's probably in pain.
I don't feel sorry for her.
Well, of course you don't, because that's not you.
No, I don't feel sorry for her. Because we don't know what the truth is. Because I need to see the evidence. Anybody starts to jump out the window when it's a divorce or when it's a negative situation, they start to do stuff like that. That's number one. And number two, she was complicit in whatever it was that he had going on and selling the juices and all of that other stuff. And she benefited from it. So I'm not going to sit here and separate it. Listen, if you're going to throw him under the bus, then throw her right on under it with him.
Okay, well, hold on, because what I will say is, looking at what she's sharing right now, she's not throwing him under the bus yet.
Yes, she is.
And no, from what I see, I didn't get there yet. So if y'all already saw something I didn't see, I'm not there yet. She right now, I'm watching her explain how it all came to be.
The fact that she came to the internet in the first place is her throwing him under the bus, but trying not to make it seem like she is. She doing it. It's deceitful.
Well, I will agree she's leveraging what she's going through. And some could argue that you shouldn't do it, and some could argue, listen, she got to figure it out. I personally would not, but I understand why she is as well, because they shared so much of their life with the world.
No, they didn't. They shared they shared the finesse. It was all a facade.
That's true. They shared the part that looked good. I agree. I would agree with that. I would agree.
So no, I'm cool. I don't want to. I'm not about to watch her story. I don't want to. I'm not gonna show her.
Come on, Anton, you gotta at least look.
I'm not giving her an ounce of no. I'm not giving her a view. I'm not giving her nothing. I'm not showing it. I'm not giving her an ounce of any visibility whatsoever personally, because I don't look at her as a victim. I don't.
That doesn't mean that you're looking at her as a victim. You just said there's other sides to the story. So what did you see? You saw something regarding him?
People send me like 400-500 different things.
Okay, well, if you're gonna watch stuff regarding him, then you
I didn't watch anything. He ain't said nothing. I just seen the same thing that everybody else seen, the spiritual world, whatever, so on and so forth. And so what I said was that I'm reserving judgment on the whole abuse allegations until there's evidence. If there's no evidence, then I'm not going to convict somebody, because anybody can say anything, and I always have been consistent on that. But as far as the pandering, I told y'all. I warned y'all.
Okay. One, and I know you got to go to your live. One, I did not get to the DV part yet. She started with that helping other people, but I didn't see that part yet. So I can't even comment. But I agree with you. I've always agreed with that. I'm not going to just assume what somebody said is to be true regarding DV. I got you. I agree. But I was never pandering to Yada. Okay, I just said I like that the man was talking about help. No,
you believed him a little bit.
I said I like that he was talking about health. I stopped following Yada when he started coming at Kevin Samuels, and he started focusing on relationship and all of this stuff. That's when I said I couldn't get down with him. And I even said you did good. You beat him on the debate.
Oh, I beat him even worse now that this is happening.
Oh, Jesus.
I had one anyway, and I told him to his face, "You pandering. You're pandering." I told him to his face he's pandering.
He was. Yeah, I agree. Can you at least acknowledge that, though? I was not saying I support Yada and his whole lifestyle. That's not fair.
Nope.
Okay. Chat, y'all see Anton is not willing to admit that I was not pandering to Yada.
Come on to the front of the congregation, Carrie and friends.
Yeah, whatever. Now I'm going to have to go watch to see how y'all even got on this topic.
I'm chilling. I'm actually being nice today. I'm very, very nice. I haven't thrown him under the bus. I haven't said anything negative about him, because again, I don't believe in kicking people when they're down. I just don't. I don't believe in kicking people when they're down.
Aren't you kind of kicking her?
No, I didn't kick her when they're down. I said I don't feel sorry for her. Leveraging the internet. This is another finesse, in my opinion. Leveraging the internet in order to try to gain some kind of sympathy. She should take her L's in private like everybody else. Because she was right there along with him, selling the juice, selling the image, and selling women on the whole logic. I think that she should shut the fuck up and take her L in private like everybody else. Take your L's in private. We all take L's in some capacity.
I'm devil's advocate. So how do people learn from other people's mistakes then, if you keep it all in private?
You need to learn and listen to people that's actually successful at it, not people that's projecting an image of it. That's why I show the receipts. God said you will know them by their fruit.
Clearly they thought they were that example.
No, they didn't. They were selling. They never thought. Carrie, we seen that. I seen every guy in the world seen this. Every man in the world seen this.
Okay, now when you say you saw this, what is this that you guys saw?
I seen that this was a finesse. First of all, come on, Carrie. Nobody goes to marry a single mother and pays her to be what?
What
are we talking about? That's not even.
What?
Who in the history? We have never even seen that scripturally. We've never seen that in the Bible. Who goes and says, "Yeah, you need to pay a single mother hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just to have her. What? You know how stuff is so outlandish that it's just like, y'all really falling for this? Like, this wasn't even a nothing to figure out.
Okay. I'm not trying to advocate for their story. Their story started to get way out there after a while. At first, I thought it was fine. They got together, whatever. She had a kid, that's okay. They figured it out. They were in love. He had a passion. She supported her man in all possible ways. She stayed at home. She had kids. And so to me,
and she was taking them L's, getting that ass kicked.
Well, see, you said that. I didn't say that. I don't know. You said that.
That's what you said. You said you was watching it.
No, she didn't talk about the DV part yet. Right now, she's still building up the story. Yeah.
I don't want to hear that shit. Take your L in private. You still alive? You got all your faculties? Take your ass, go get a job.
Well, so far she's empowering women.
No, I ain't no empowering women. Who the other baby daddies? Now we gonna start digging. Since you want to leverage social media, you want to leverage social media. You want to be all in the camera like Diddy and that. You want to start. Now I want to know who the real daddy.
Oh my God! And I don't know. It looks like she just had another baby. So I don't know if Yada's the father or what. I didn't get that far. Anton, come on, you gotta at least look in the stories. It'll take you a few minutes.
Nope.
Chad, tell him he needs to look at the story.
I think that women should take their L's in private. Take your L in private.
Men too?
He is taking his L in private. You ain't saying nothing.
Okay, fair enough.
Take your L in private.
Fair enough.
So,
all right, well.
Bye. This is a very simple breakdown. This is for me personally, this is a very, very, very simple situation. Clearly, y'all gonna run to her and y'all gonna, oh my God, I can't believe it. You're so strong. You're so strong. No. We don't want to hear that. I don't personally want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear it. I'm not interested in it. I don't want to know what happened. Oh my God. No. You were sitting up there with your holy crowns on. Oh, you should always pay a woman at least $100,000 for a push present. What? Yeah, I was looking at that. I'm looking at it as a rich man. As a rich man, I was sitting there like, man, get this off my algorithm, bro. Seriously, I had to stop listening to the certain stuff. As I say, get this off my algorithm. Y'all not about to be flooding my stuff with this nonsense, with this foolishness that y'all don't have no. Women always talking about all of the discernment that they got. You ain't got no discernment when it comes to somebody telling you what you want to hear all of a sudden. So you ain't had no discernment on that? Now all of a sudden they're going to come out of the woodwork. Girl, I knew it. No, you didn't. Y'all take y'all L's in private too. Y'all take y'all L's in private. Now everybody want to come and show up. No, you deserve it. When these dudes finesse y'all with the super panda bear methodology and they're popping up, listen, they're like Hydra. This is not the last that we'll see from it. You think that women are now going to start divesting themselves from the number one panderers? It's a whole lot of them out there. It's a bunch of them. And you know where they thrive the most? TikTok. They thrive at TikTok. And where one goes down, two steps up to take their place. There's some guys out there right now like, ooh, I knew it. Yeah. It's a replacement. Who's going to replace them? Who's going to replace them? Maybe it's just the Detroit in me. Keeping it real is a lost art, bro. It's a lost art. Keeping it real is a lost art. It's a lost art. The real never catches it. The real is always right, but the real never catches. They never show themselves to be right until much later, and then nobody is gonna come back and say, you know what, man, you was right. You know what, man, you was right. I never throw nobody under the bus. Anytime somebody get accusations, I never throw anybody under the bus. I never say, yup, they guilty. I never do that. Ever. Ever. And I never will. I'm not about to throw somebody in the bus based off of an accusation. Now, as far as the pandering part, y'all deserve everything y'all getting as a result of it. That's a you problem. And every time y'all get finesse, I think y'all deserve it. And y'all should get finesse more. He made a bag off of y'all. Y'all the dummies. He made a bag off of pandering to y'all. I don't think that let me tell you what the play is. Yada, if you watching this, let me give you the blueprint, big dog. Yada, if you're watching this, I'm gonna give you the play. I'm gonna tell you the same thing that I said to Derrick Jackson. Don't apologize to these hoes. Do not. Come on, don't do a public service announcement. Don't sit down with your girl with the helmet of righteousness. Don't do none of that. Don't apologize to these funky, stupid hoes. Just talk that talk. They deserve everything that they got as a result of it. Don't apologize. Number one problem with a lot of people is that they don't just take it and say, you know what? It is what it is. Do not apologize for who you are and for what you've got going on. Under no circumstance. And let me tell you what the suckers is doing. Let me tell you what the we gonna find. You know what we gonna do? We gonna find out who the first hoe is. Anton, how you gonna find out who the first hoe is? It's gonna be the first sucker, first man. The first man that invite her onto their platform to tell her story is the first hoe ass nigga. That's who the first sucker is. Never reach out to a man's wife. The first sucker is gonna be the first person that invite her onto the platform to tell her story. That's the dirty Mac. See, we gonna mine this out and we gonna find out who all of the hoes are, who all of the suckers are. We gonna find out who all of the people is that like to talk to dudes, girls behind their back and all of that. The first sucker is gonna be the person that reach out to her, that allows for her to jump on the platform to tell her story. We the last of a dying breed and ain't no more real ones, big dog. We it. We it. After us, there shall be no more. After us, there shall be no more. Listen to what I'm telling you. The first sucker, and I'm telling you right now, is going to be the person that invite her onto the platform to tell her story to Dirty Macker. It might be a punk. But when you say punk, you got to spell it P-O-N-K. It might be a punk. Stradamus, I'm making a prediction right now. Shout out to my dog, Mike that dude. I appreciate you, Mike that dude, for holding me down. I appreciate you, big dog. John Teal says my contribution towards the tea. I ain't even ordered none. I'm all water. I'm applesauce, fruit, and water right now. That's what I'm on. And let me say this to y'all before I read the rest of these super chats so we get started with the show. Never rejoice in another man's downfall. Even if it's your op, even if it's a person that you don't like, never rejoice. Even when you take down an enemy, sometimes it's bittersweet, but it's never an opportunity to rejoice. It's painful. Never rejoice in another man's downfall. You hear what I'm saying? I know that might be a little bit too deep for some of y'all. I know that some of y'all may be, no. It's you don't get nothing out of it. You don't benefit anything from rejoicing in another man's downfall, even if he your enemy. You can address the situation. You can mine out what you want to mine out from it. You can learn from it, but don't rejoice in seeing another man fall. That's what the hoes do. We not hoes. We need real dudes, real fathers, real men, people that bring back that old school principle that seems to be so lost amongst us today. The young dudes don't have nothing to look up to. The OGs is acting like the hoes. And that's why we ain't getting nowhere. It is what it is. Let the chips fall where it may. Shout out to my dog Mike, that dude. Shout out to John Teal. Shout out to Spencer Campbell. Spence, what up, Spence? I appreciate you, big dog. Shout out to Courtney Edgar. Said need the chasers to get banter and barter show to 1K. What up to Courtney Edgar? I appreciate you, big dog. Shout out to you. What up? What up? What up? Let me read some of these super chat. Manny Plays PC says, number 3, fall is also when traffic picks back up. Yeah, all of the kids is back in school. A lot of the kids going back to school. Shout out to all of the kiddies. Brambo, a lot of the people coming back to college. I see all of the Wayne State students down here. Brambo in the building says, started my last semester for my management, information systems, and quantitative methods yesterday. A new job and master's is next. You motivated me. Hey, let me give a round of applause to Brambo, man. Congratulations, bro. We love that. Chris Cunningham says, every time you stream with this background, you always cook. I think I got an eye for this. Yeah, that's why I went ahead and roll with this, because I knew it was going to get a little messy. It's going to get a little messy today. We're going to talk about Master P, Deshaun Watson. We got the 49ers owner trying to buy box in Ohio. We're going to get to a lot of different things today. Shout out to my dog, Chris Cunningham. Man, he plays, but y'all like, for those of you that's just got here, you may not have been here yesterday. You may be new to, y'all like, I put the bike inside of the studio. I think it got a great aesthetic. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to put it over there on that wall, towards that wall, but I don't think it's going to hit the same. I think having it right there behind me is actually a better aesthetic. Manny Plays PC says, Maddie's only wants you going after him because he's a panda bear. If he were a red pill content creator, they wouldn't believe the allegations. Possibly true. But I think that real men have to be consistent regardless of whether or not they like somebody or they don't like somebody. You got to stand on what you stand on. Wesley Turner says, AD, I remember you mentioned to us that you learned about his past, but chose not to bring it up in a debate. You are the example of consistency, honor, and adherence to your beliefs. I'm consistent. So, Wesley, I don't know why people want me to change now. Why they want me to now have a different perspective or a different ideology and how I go about doing things because some new information allegedly came out? I'm not going to be different because everybody else is jumping on the bandwagon. I'm going to be consistent, even if it don't make me no money. I'm all right with that. I'm cool. What up, Messy? Oh, this is my girlfriend right here. Shout out to my girl, Messy Michonne. Messy Michonne live in the building says Anton trying to explain something that's inexplicable to a woman like this. Women are down bad, face to face, desperate and emotional and foolish. What up, Messy? Hey, Messy is pretty too in real life. I'm going to just tell y'all that. Let me be quiet, though. Let me be quiet. Manny Plays PC says, oh my God, you're so strong for telling your truth. A year later, she'll end up right back with him. Then it'll be, oh my God, you're so strong for forgiving him. Then rinse and repeat. I think she should stay with him. They already got kids together, right? Amethyst Angel says, ADC email research for future coverage. I got you, baby. Spaces, what up, Spaces says, she said her bonnet was the helmet of salvation and her shirt was the breastplate of righteousness. Today is my birthday, just another year. Shout out to you, Spaces. Happy birthday, big dog. Jordan's World says, Anton, proud of your success and may more blessings come your way and family. Bag Chasers is up and keep your foot on the hater's neck. What up, Jordan? What up, Jay? Love D. Williams says, a shout out every blue moon for me will be, what up, D? I'll be seeing you in the chat with the bull's eyes and the computers and all of the emojis. I see you, Love D. I love D. Williams. You know what I'm saying? Hey, baby. What up, AD? Check out that Game album. You check out the Game album. I think you got a contender for the album of the year. I like Game's album. I was listening to it. I've been listening to the Game a lot. Let me see what's the last. Look, what I got playing right now, literally. 40 Nights, the Game, Kanye. That's what I was playing last. See that? I've been listening to the Game, baby. Also been listening to Payroll. Shout out to Payroll. Rob 49. What up, Rob 49? A lot of people trying to hate on Skilla, but we got Skilla in the rotation. Party Next Door. Got to get that old school. You know what I'm saying? Only You. Yep. I have great musical taste, if I do say so myself. I have great musical taste, if I do say so myself. Game's album is fire. I do not deny that, not even a little bit. All right? I'm going to put that as a subject, this whole Yada conversation. I'm going to put this as a subject for after hours tonight, so you'll hear the crew, which includes Slimmy, Kimmy, Miss Sanchez, Q Diddy, my girl Molly, and then we also got Brittany, all right, Mimi. We got all of our friends. They're going to be Kimmy, all of them. They going to be there. They're going to talk about it, and they're going to give their perspective, which may be completely different than mine, all right? Leno says Ransom got the album of the year. I haven't heard of it. I haven't heard it yet. Let me see Ransom. Let's see what Ransom is talking about. All right, man. Just be sure to tell the truth, Anton. I did, Carrie. I did. It doesn't get any more truthful than what I said. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into the show. I always start off with somebody and their perspective, and the theme of today is to be a victim. The theme of today is victimhood. The quote of the day is, I'm not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. All right, let's get into it, y'all.
And the truth is, a lot of successful Black people feel guilty for being successful, so they condone ratchetry because they don't want to be seen as elitist. But the reality is, a lot of them are saying one thing in public and then behaving differently in private. A lot of these people who are successful, Black people particularly, would literally never walk out of the house in do-rags and bonnets. They would not let their children behave as such, but they will hop on the internet and say, well, just because I wouldn't do it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. And it's because they fear being called elitist or being, engaging in respectability politics, and knowing good and well that actually there's a standard that regardless of race, ethnicity, there's a standard of, outside clothes and inside clothes, and bonnets and Do-rags are made for sleeping, and pajamas are made for sleeping, and that's just the truth. But I don't think we're not getting anywhere as a culture, as a community, because the people who are actually successful will not come out and tell the truth. And if they do, they are berated and lambasted by the other elitist black folk who will sit there and say, no, it doesn't matter. You can speak how you want. You can talk how you want. You can act how you want. You can dress how you want. You can behave how you want. I would never do that. I know that that's what it takes to get into certain rooms, but I'm never going to tell you to do that. So in other words, I have the keys to the kingdom, but I will not tell you that that is what you have to do, because I'm afraid of being called anti-black. Meanwhile, they are telling their children to not go outside in bonnets and do-rags. They're telling their children to always go outside with shoes, a shirt, a belt, some accessory, to always have their hair done, to always be perceived a certain way. They're telling their children this, but they will tell us online, well, it's not, you don't have to do that.
I think that successful black people in a lot of instances are complicit. And let me tell you why. It's the same reason why they go at Stephen A. Smith. It's the same reason why they're going after Master P, but I'm definitely going to address the Master P situation, and I'm going to play the video for y'all so that y'all understand what's going on. It's the same reason that they go after me. It's the same reason why they go after a lot of people. The people that are successful as black people in most instances, they are grifters in the true sense of the word, meaning that they are at the top. And in a lot of instances, they could be politicians, they could be content creators, they could be legislators, they could be owners of certain, businesses and companies. They could be working in corporate America. And what happens is they actually validate the behavior while looking and doing differently for themselves. I say the same thing about D.L. Hughley. I think that D.L. Hughley is a piece of shit, if we just gonna be honest and be transparent. Absolutely garbage. Because in the same way that he'll complain is the same way that nobody knows whether or not D.L. Hughley is building in the hood in a black neighborhood as a result of it. If you so pro-black, why you don't live amongst all black people? How come your neighbors don't know you? How come you not in the hood? How come you not giving inside of the community? How come you're not a part of it? You know why? Because he talks about it amongst you in order to monetize from you, but he does not live in it and he's not around it. That's why I stay in Detroit. That's why I live here. I never moved. I never dipped. I never moved to another state. I never went in. I moved further into the city, and I decided to give my resources to tithe to the streets, to be a pillar inside of the community, to continue to contribute into it, to become an economic factor, and also to interact with people on a regular basis. Most of these people are scared. They're scared of losing their audience because that is their lifeblood and that is the money where it comes from. But they do not act like you. They do not send their children to school with you. They will not sit there across the dinner table with you. They don't even want to shake your hand. Sometimes they don't even want to give you an autograph. In a lot of instances, they are very much the very same thing that you say that you don't like, and they're also secret Republicans. Secretly, you wouldn't believe. You would not believe the amount of black people who has reached out to me and say, man, I'm glad you said it because I can't. Man, I'm glad you said it because I can't. They're not willing to put themselves on the line. They're not willing to put their platforms on the line. They're not willing to put their views on the line because they automatically know that the minute that you start to denounce ratchetness, that they are going to turn against you. That will be the inkling. The opportunity for them to turn against you. They gonna turn against you. Oh, make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. They gonna turn against you. Absolutely. Now, they going to send their kid to the same school that I send my kid to. They're going to send their kid to the same school that they complain about their kids, other people's kids going to. They're not going to sit there and do parent-teacher comp. Listen, they'll come and speak at your school, but this school that they kid go to, they don't need no speech. They don't need no, hey, what does your father and your mother do? Did you know that at schools that where they have a significant amount of resources, that they don't have a what does your parent do for work day? Because the kids don't need no inspiration. The kids' inspiration comes from their fathers. The kids' inspiration comes from their family. When you go to an affluent school, you don't have, hey, what does your father and your mother do for a living day? That only comes in environments where you need inspiration, where kids need inspiration because they don't have any fathers at home and they don't have anything to look up to. Somebody says, Anton, you live downtown. Yes, downtown Detroit. You know the one that was abandoned? You know the one where I explored all of the buildings and the architecture all throughout the 2000s and the 2010s? You know the ones where they had to tear down all of the buildings? You know the one where Hudson's buildings was nothing there? You know the one that I actually went on Google Maps and showed you, the old one where I was rolling through? The one, I live right down here, correct, where I went to school at. I went to school right there at Cass Technical High School in downtown Detroit. Absolutely. Oh, wait a minute. So now that it's coming back, now that I never left and I also get to enjoy in the resurgence somehow, some way, because the majority of my building is overwhelmingly black. Was that supposed to be a gotcha moment? I also give back to the community twice a month, over $10,000 every single month. But they don't want to talk about that part. They don't want to talk about that part. I watched it. I literally used to walk through Greektown when it was a ghost town. I was here in the blackest major city in the United States of America. They said, Anton, come and move to Atlanta. They said, Anton, why don't you just go ahead and move permanently to Miami? I said, no, I'll just go there in the wintertime. Coming home. Coming home. Coming home. Coming home. My whole family, half of my family moved down south to Florida. They said, Anton, you coming? It's better weather here. It's nicer. I said, no, I'm coming home. I'm staying home. This is home. This is home. And I actually want to be an example of what I would like to see inside of my city in mass. They don't see Lamborghinis in the city like that. Anybody that has met me in the street, anybody that has ever met me in the street, there's not one person that ever said, I met Anton and he's an asshole. There's not one person that ever met Anton and he said, because plenty of people ask me, oh man, can I see in the inside? I say, get in it. The young bulls, hey man, oh man, I ain't never seen nothing like this in person. I said, get in it. Get in it and see for yourself. And when they get out of it, I tell them, I said, and you ain't got to rob nobody. You ain't got to kill nobody. You ain't got to do nothing dirty. You ain't got to sell no dope. You ain't got to rap. You ain't got to do none of that in order to get it. Because I want them to see that it's possible. I want them to understand that it's more to life and that you do have an opportunity, because they don't see that here. Do they also tell you that I have a scholarship program set up to where I give $25,000 to boys of my high school to make sure that they don't have student loans to help them through college? Do they also tell you that part? Because see, I don't say everything that I do. Do they also tell you that I have a scholarship program set up in which I give my own money to people to boys that graduate from my high school in order to help them to not have student loans in the city? Do they also tell you that? No, they don't tell you that part. They don't tell you that part. I'm here. I'm here. My studio is here. But you know what we do? We spend the material. It's so funny to me because you'll never, and this is the reason why she's explaining it, and I'm doubling down on it. She's explaining to you why people like me, in most instances, when they get money, they get the fuck out of here. Because it's niggas like you that's always trying to make sure that they keep a nigga like me down. And anytime I see people say stuff like that, I know your type. I know your type. You know what your type is? You the type of nigga that actually come up to me in person and say, oh man, I fuck with you, bro. I love your content. Man, I love it when you said that to that boy. And then be plotting behind the scenes. Man, I don't like that nigga, man. That's why I give dap. I don't even do like this no more. I do like this. I fist bump. Man, I appreciate you, bro. I'm going to holler at y'all later. I got to go, bro. I got a meeting I got to get to. Man, it's nice to meet you. What's your name again? Okay, I'm out. I don't even do this no more because it's bad energy. I don't want that transferring of energy no more. It's only this. It's only this. As soon as I get into a place with a restroom in it, I'm washing my hands. Get that evil spirit up off me. These mad black men is out here feeling some type of way. They don't look at it as inspiration. They want to kill you. They want to kill you. And that's why it's condone righteousness or it's condone ratchetness. You know why it's condone ratchetness? Because that's what you like. That's what you love. That's what you want. That's what you up on. You love it and you like being so. Listen, I should have did it differently. You right. You right. I should have did it differently. You know what I should have did? You know what I should have did? I should have did the same thing that Al Sharpton does. I should have did the same thing that Kamala Harris does. I should have did the same thing that everybody else does. You know what they do? They say, I'm pro-black. They marry white. They go and live out in the suburbs, and then they sell you on the idea that, hey, man, you got to keep it real hood. Yo, race. The white man is against you, and you would love me for it. You will love me for it. The white man is against you. Also, you can't get ahead because of your race and the color of your skin. And make sure you go and get you a snow bunny. And then you will love me for it. And then you will be cool with it. And everybody will say, you know what? He's for us. Not what you do. Not what you contribute. Not how you help people. Not the scholarships that you give. Not the tithe into the streets. Not actually living into the city. Not any of that type of stuff. The only thing that, not who you marry, not the kid that you have. Your life don't have to be a reflection of it. All you got to do is sell the idea of black, and then everything is going to be good. Shit, yeah. In Don Lemon's situation, he went and married a white man. He didn't even he didn't even marry a white woman. He went double negative. He went and married a white man. And y'all like, you know what? Hercules. And you celebrate him for it.
It's a choice. Okay. So we're just lying at this point. We're just lying. And reality is, these black, wealthy, elitist people would never hire someone who behaved a certain way. It's a fact. They would never. And they're pretending.
Hold on, we got to stop there. We got to stop there. Let me ask y'all a question. Because, see, everybody that roll with me get a check. Whether you creating content with me, whether you doing something real estate related to me, whether you editing for me, everybody that's with me eat. Everybody with me eat. Before I even look out for myself, I make sure that everybody else is paid and taken care of. Do you think, bro, it don't get no more pro-black than me, Oscar? I put money in black people's pockets. I live in a black city. It doesn't get any more pro-black than this. I married the darkest woman that I can find. Everybody that works for me is black, and the majority of them are women. Let me ask y'all a question. Would these people hire you? You think that they would give you an opportunity? You think they would give you a job if you was sufficient at what you do? The same thing that they're endorsing, they wouldn't hire you for it. They wouldn't hire you. They would not do business with you. Bro, all the way up into the person that does my website is straight from the chasers. They're straight from the group. Anybody that I hire comes straight from the chasers. I don't even go outside no more. It's chasers. They wouldn't give you a job. They wouldn't give you $5 if you needed it. She talking that talk, bro.
This is normal and this is okay. And that is the problem. That's the problem. Is that we have leaders who condone this behavior. And then we go, well, why is it that, people don't take education seriously? I'm sorry. But yeah, you do have to show up to school like it matters. Part of getting dressed, there is a psychological component to getting dressed. When you get dressed and go to school, at the very least, it changes your brain to actually want to learn. You take it more seriously because you got dressed for the event. There is a psychology behind this. So, and this is not even really like directly related to Tuskegee. That's one thing. They have a host of other problems. But this general sense of, I'm not going to tell you what to do because I don't want to be perceived as anti-black and I don't want to be hated upon. Meanwhile, I'm giving my children the keys to the kingdom, the puzzle pieces that they need in order to be successful. Is
Carmen's so messy. Carmen, we cannot confirm nor deny that. I don't even remember that happening, Carmen. So I have no clue what you're talking about.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Shout out to Carmen. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I think it's going to be an incredible week. I think that it's going to be an incredible week. Let me read some of these super chats and see what y'all talking about inside of the chat. Leno says she's speaking nothing but the real. Agreed, big dog. Agreed. Thank you, Leno. Jay Hunter Lee in the building says, brother AD, I see that bike behind you. Didn't know that you was a rider. Yeah, bro. They try to give me, listen, Jay Hunter Lee, they try to give me stuff for my 1000 RR. I love this bike. I love this bike. It's so pretty, bro. It's so gorgeous. It's perfect. It's perfect, Jay Hunter Lee. Dub 14 says D.L. Hughley is the guy who made his autistic son a part of his stand-up routine for the last 30 years, never respected him. Don Dimitri says, AD, why you letting the no profile picture Maddie's gaslight you? I'm not. Listen, the chat is a part of the show, baby. Shout out to Don Dimitri. Shout out to you, big dog, says Mr. Merv. Shout out to Mr. Merv. I appreciate you, Mr. Merv. Thank you guys for continuing to hold me down. Thank you guys for continuing to show love. Before we continue with the show, let me see. How y'all feeling today? I don't know what Carmen talking about. What is Carmen talking about? Yeah, Quasar is a hater. Quasar is a hater. No, listen. We gonna call you what we see you. Quasar be on room 9 and hate mode so much. Nah, nigga, don't come over here talking about, oh man, I feel like I'm a bag chaser with the ding buttons. Nah, nigga, I'll be seeing you hating over there. I don't censor you. I don't say nothing because I'm like, you know what? Haters need love too. It is what it is. We got to make sure that they can get their stuff off. They got to have somewhere to vent. But let's be very, very clear. Let's be very, very clear. Yes. He is very much. He's not just a hater on you, Mimi. He's a hater in general. But I mean, he got to have somewhere to get that off on. So it just is what it is. He is definitely an evil motherfucker all day long. I'm not mincing my words with niggas no more, man. We just gonna get straight to it. We gonna make it happen, and we gonna make it do what it do. Y'all ready to get into this Master P conversation? All right, this is something that Master P, Anton, if Carmen right, you should have invited me and Crown. I don't know what Carmen is talking about. Carmen, what is Carmen saying? I have no idea what Carmen is saying. Met Anton at my job in Miami. Humblest, coolest person. Shout out to you, big dog. I appreciate you. Black people were pissed at Master P. They were pissed. I kept seeing all of these think pieces of Master P. So I said, well, let me go and find out what the original article was. It just so happens to be on Forbes, and this is what he had to say.
But he's doing. But when you think about, again, being yourself, what's been the biggest surprise of the stardom? I mean, you've been in this game for a very, very long time. What's been the biggest surprise about it all?
Our own culture don't believe that we could do it. You know, because they just don't get it. They're like, how you could do this? I mean, like, if I could do it, anybody could do it. You don't have to be the smartest person in the world. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You just got to have integrity and do good business. And these doors will open up for you, building great relationships. And I think that's the biggest thing for me, trying to get that negative mindset out of our culture, because they still going back to, oh man, slavery, they did us this. And I'm like, you still hoping on that, man. I never hoped on that, because I can't change the past, but I can change the future. And I think you got to get used to us being successful. And I think a lot of us, we block our own blessings because we don't think that we could do it because we're looking at a color. So, I mean, Muhammad Ali was a guy that, and I love like his story, because he didn't care about that. He just wanted to be around good people, but he did represent for the culture. Right. And I want more African-American owned tennis shoe companies. I don't want this just to be me. I want so many different product brands owned by us, but making it for everybody. Because think about it, when other cultures make products, they don't make it for them, they make it for everybody.
People were pissed. They were pissed at P for saying that he does not focus on slavery, that he focuses on growth, and he's focusing on what he can do in the future, and that he wants to level up, and he's not stuck on what happened to us. He's stuck on how he builds for the future. And people were absolutely upset. And I want to ask this question. What is it about being positive? What is it about being dedicated to greatness? What is it about building for the future? What is it about not being a victim? What is it about not trying to always look at yourself as Kunta Kinte, that bothers people, and younger people more than older people. Older people are the worst. Let me tell you something. I know I talk about older black men and the boomers and the Gen Xers and stuff like that. And obviously, I'm not saying all of you. I'm really speaking to a certain demographic of most of you, of how a lot of you think. But let me tell you something. There is nobody more hateful than older black women and older black men. They have a sense of hate that seems like it's duty. And on one hand, to a sense, depending on how old you are, if you was born in the 30s and the 40s and you're 90 years old, I can understand why you might have a little bit of PTSD. You might have actually experienced some stuff. You might have actually been told to get your ass in that black bathroom. You might have even got your ass whooped for wanting to get some whites only pie, depending on what part of the country that you was in. But it's some older black folks that was born in the 50s or 60s or 70s, and they just hateful for the sake of being hateful. They just hateful. They just evil. They some evil people that you just can't, and they, listen, white people, they hate you. Oh, they cosplay in front of your face. They smile in front of your face all the time. They want to take your place. The backstabbers. Oh, we hear them when they come home from work. Oh my God. Ooh, that evil white woman that I work with. Ooh, and I can't stand her cats. I'm never eating her food. I'm never eating her food. And she was talking about her stinking dogs and her stinking cats. Oh, yes. Listen, let me tell you something, white people. Hateful black people talk about y'all like y'all dogs. You know the same way that y'all talk about us? Some of y'all evil, ugly, hateful white people. The same way that y'all talk about us and y'all say, y'all don't know nothing about cussing nobody out. Y'all number one, see, y'all just use the N-word with the hard ER. Like that don't even hit the same. Ugly, evil black people that are racist, they will cuss you up and down, left and right, and they will break your feet. They could break your heart the way that they cuss you out. They curse your dog. They curse your cat. They hate your kids. They think that you smell like bologna. They call you all saltines, all kind of stuff. They will cut you up and down with their words. They will break your soul. If you heard the way that older black people talk about white people, it could be studied. It should be studied. It could be studied. Y'all hate don't even hit the same as our hate. It ain't even the same. It's not even remotely in the same category. It's categorically different, the level of hate. It's different. Talk to some of these old grandmas. Don't you ever, what? They call y'all honkies. Don't you ever bring no white honky in this house. If I'm lying, I'm flying. If I'm lying, oh, look at her. She's so pale. She's so pale. No, it's not all of y'all, obviously. It's not all of y'all. At all. At all. It's not all white people. Somebody said, why you snitching, Anton? We all know we need to play with our cards face up at this point. Because everybody is sitting here jumping around and they tiptoeing around the issues and they tiptoeing around the subjects. And they're not really addressing it for what it is. They're not really addressing it for what it is. And that's why you got to qualify yourself. You know what? Would you invite them to the barbecue? As though that's something prestigious. Who wants to go and get diabetes that got diabetes? The diabetes got diabetes. Both of their feet got gout. Are they invited to the barbecue though? Hey! Don't nobody want to come to that bullshit ass barbecue. Your stupid barbecue. And let me tell you another thing. Oh, we gonna go all the way there today. I want to break every kind of racial stereotype. In order for us to do that, we got to get all of the cards out on the table. Let me tell you something, bro. Black people today can't even cook like black people back in the 90s. And that's the worst part about it. I don't even want to go to your dumb barbecue because you don't even cook that well. Y'all order chicken from some restaurant and you try to get it catered or something like that. Y'all don't, man, listen, bro. Black people can't even cook like that no more. You want to know who? See, y'all say who made the potato. Y'all cook like white people. Y'all the same people. The same people. Black people don't know how to cook no more. And I'm telling you the truth. These girls, these young girls, they can't make cold cereal, bro. They can't make greens is canned. Banana pudding is trash, no flavor. Peach cobbler is garbage. So what is that? That ain't real. Them ain't greens. Ain't got no meat for the flavoring inside of the collard greens or nothing. I said this ain't real. Barbecue can't barbecue. I said black people can't cook no more. Black people can't cook no more. Don't know how to season nothing. Either it's too overly seasoned or it's not seasoned enough. Can't make dessert, can't make cheesecake, can't make nothing. I said, man, get me up out of here. Get me up out of here. They can't make nothing. Can't make a lick. I was in a grocery store yesterday. I was looking at what the women was shopping for and what they was paying. Promise to God, I was in a grocery store yesterday. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Mm-hmm. Y'all don't think I do regular people stuff, but I go out in the wild. And I do normal people stuff so that I can study and see what people are saying and see what people are doing. I was out in the wild yesterday and I said, you know what? If you seen me at the grocery store yesterday, if you seen me out in the streets, you seen me out there getting gas, doing all of the regular people stuff, say what up though. Come and speak to me. Come and kick it with me in real life. Yes, I did. Let me see. See that? August 24th, Myers Grocery Store. I spent $101.50. In person. See that? In person. In person. And I had an opportunity to observe y'all and see how y'all move. And I go and do things that everybody do. And everybody like to say, Anton, you're so out of touch. You don't know how much is. I know what's going on. I know the dude that's at the door. What's up, Anton, man? What's going on, bro? Can I get $5? Can I get $1? Yeah. All right, little homie. Yeah, you cool. Watch my car. Okay, cool. I know the homie that pushed the baskets. I know the person that's the dude that's at loss prevention. I know them all. I kick it with people I'm in the city kicking it with people on a regular basis. I get to see what people are really doing. Y'all not even shopping for the right type of groceries. They spend all of their time in the canned food aisle. I said, what is going on? Now, the meats was all full over there. Right? The fresh vegetables, everybody was in the canned good aisle. I said, what y'all doing over here? Oh, okay, caught ya. Black woman, black woman, black woman, black woman. Caught ya. I see you over there. Can't cook two dead flies. Ain't got two nickels to rub together and can't cook at the same time. I said, this is crazy. This is crazy. I'm so not confident in the black cooking apparatus today. I'm so not confident in what y'all doing inside of y'all kitchens. I don't even want to kick it with nobody, and I'm not eating nobody's cooking that ain't got that fat hanging down off of the bottom of they. If the grandma ain't got the fat hanging down, I seen Mr. Tendernism. They was going off on him on the place that he was serving. Y'all messed up Tendernism. Trying to be blackety black, messed up his partnership. He was over there with his partner that he came up with, and they was running up a bag. They had a plan the whole time, and y'all sat there and immediately started calling the white man a colonizer. As soon as you realize that it was a partner and he just so happened to be something other than black, they ruined that man's relationship, and now they ain't messing with him no more. They was dissing Mr. Tendernism's plates on all up and down. They said, man, look at this garbage. They said, look at this. Tendernism ain't tender no more. Messed up Tendernism's play. Messed up the Tendernism. And y'all don't mess with him no more. Messed up his money. They had a whole partnership. He was running up a bag. He ain't never got that famous. Ain't never did none of that before in his life. Now where is he at? Now where he at? Ain't got enough money to go and open up his own. So now he just traveling, doing catering events. Now they hate Master P. Now they get mad at Master. Master P said, I want to show y'all how to get this money. We need to support each other. We need to stop focusing on the past and focus on the future. And now, all of a sudden, everybody is now they hate Master P. How you gonna hate Master P? Make him say, nah. They call me Ice Cream Man or call me Master P. Mr. Ice Cream Man, Mr. Ice Cream Man, Mr. Ice Cream Man. They hate Master P. How you gonna hate on MP the Don? The last Don? That's crazy. You hating on the last Don.
But when other cultures make products, they don't make it for them. They make it for everybody. And so I want that mindset of our people. If I could change that, that's the way we're going to bridge the wealth gap.
What's been the biggest negative surprise of it all? The biggest negative surprise of the stardom?
Our people can't work together. Think about it. When I go down Rodale Drive and see all these stores, they're owned by all the same kind of looking people. None of them fighting. None of them caring about what each other have or got. And I love that. I want to see that for our culture and our people. That's why I fight to educate our culture and our people. Because we got to get on that page. Like, we get on that page, we're going to be dangerous because we spend $1 trillion a year.
2.1 trillion.
2.1 trillion. Think about it. And we don't own nothing. And we make 0.1% of black CEOs in Fortune 500 companies, but we spending all the money.
You flash back, man, and you know, you kind of said it. You grew up in the New Orleans area, right? 3-bedroom apartment in the projects with your grandparents. Your uncle, he was sleeping on the bed, and they said you had to sleep on the floor, right? Yeah. What was it like for you growing up in New Orleans?
It was tough, but my grandfather did one thing. He sent me to this Catholic school, St. Monica, And as a little boy, it was tough because I got this Catholic school uniform on. When I get to the project, you know, I got to fight because they like, oh, you think you better than us. And I'm like, no, I don't know how I get to this Catholic school. My grandfather got me here, but it was tough. I learned a lot of lessons, and I wouldn't change it because I think my grandfather doing that for me, he gave me a foundation to know who God is, and know that God is real. So I never looked at my condition. You know how most people growing up knowing they're in a bad place, a bad environment, got all these bad conditions. I never looked. I was just thankful. Thankful to be in that project with my grandparents and having a roof over my head, which knowing that some other kid probably sleeping in his car or sleeping on the street with their parents. So I think that's what that did to help build my character to where I didn't have to, even though I was uncomfortable, I never felt like it. But I knew I had to do something to get out of this environment. I need to do it. I need to put the work in.
Shout out to MP The Last Don, bro. They don't appreciate you, but we love you over here on the Millionaire Morning Show. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Y'all don't deserve P. Y'all don't deserve Percy Miller. Y'all don't deserve P, man. Y'all really don't, because y'all disrespectful. You're disrespectful. You don't hold him down. He's over here trying to give you some insight and game. And you know the thing about us is that we don't like to take advice from people. You got jokes, Carrie. Okay. All right, Carrie. Got jokes. We don't like to take advice from people that are successful if they're not saying the thing that makes us comfortable. Shout out to MP The Last Dime, bro. We roll with you over here on the MMS show. King Cool says, you dodging this smoke? You said summertime chess match? I gave you enough time to practice? No more excuses? Put a date on it. Where you want to play at, bro? I hope you got your money up. Listen. Let me tell you something, bro. I don't play no game unless it's for money. That's honest to God truth. I play blitz, 5 minutes, and I do not play unless I play for money. I don't practice. I only play for money. And so, King Cool, if you in the D, you let me know where you at. Maybe even Saturday. And I might have to pull up and see what's happening out here in these streets. King DJ Tricks in the building says, not gonna lie, Anton, the vocals were impressive. I tried to hit it the same way that they hit it on the that they hit it on the song. Elizabeth Nicholas says, good morning, Mr. Daniels. If you want to get a better understanding of that victim mindset, read The Burden of Freedom by Dr. Miles Monroe. Never heard of that one. It's the Shy Guy in the building. It's the Shy Guy in the building says, I had a 70-something-year-old black lady at my church call a white lady a bleach demon. What? As soon as what? A bleach demon? Oh my God, that is so stupid. Purple Haze in the building says, to your point, AD, they are now debating if Korean fried chicken is better than ours, even though we taught them. Don Dimitri, what up, Don Dimitri says, I don't know, AD cooking with the Kaya be throwing down in the kitchen just to get past her intro. Y'all not looking at Kaya for her kitchen cooking. Y'all looking at Kaya for her ass. Ebony, what up, Eb, says, I've heard you say before you don't keep all of your money in banks anymore. I'm ready to do the same. Where should I move my money to? Assets. It's all assets, baby. Ebony, you getting into the video that I'm dropping inside of the Patreon of exactly how we strategize. I'm gonna talk about, maybe I'll talk about it a little bit when I get into this 40 trillion, because I haven't been able to get into this $40 trillion debt yet. But assets. I keep at least a 10 ball on me. I should have a 10 ball on me somewhere. Gotta have tip money. So you keep 5s and 20s for tip money. This is a key. I don't carry singles. I only tip in 5s. So the 5s and the 20s is tip money. All right. So I keep a couple 20s, few 20s, and then the most of them is 5. And that way you can take care of valets. You can, somebody asks you for some money on the street. All of that. Then you keep a stack. Always got to keep a stack just in case. All right. Hands may be ashy, but the money is flashy. So we don't put no ones, no fake stuff in there. And so we keep a stack. We keep a whole stack, a 10 ball minimum. And we stacked up to the gills, the whole 9 yards. All right. So always try to, I don't know, it's a bad habit, to be honest with you. It's a bad habit, to be honest with you, bud. Old habits die young. Hopefully one day I get out of it. I don't know, but I always try to keep at least a stack. So. And then the rest of everything else goes into assets. So if it's not in stocks, then it's in real estate. If it's not in real estate, then it's in some other tangible physical asset. I think that money is a waste in a lot of instances, as far as like when you start getting into the M's and stuff like that. I think it's better to actually put it into stuff that make you money. So actually, I'm about to get rid of that. I'm about to go and put that in the bank. I'm about to go and put that in the bank and go from there. All right, y'all, let's move on with the show. Let me read a couple of more super chats. Oakley, shout out to Oakley, 6'3" tall, says, Master P talking about the wrong thing. He should have hit on the black struggle, how we deserve reparations, how black men need to protect black women. Man, I'm so tired of this. Bro, we are $40 trillion in debt. I don't know how to better explain this to y'all. I told y'all this years ago. I told y'all this years ago. You're not getting reparations. I don't know how to better explain it to you. You can waste your time continuing to talk about something that you're not going to get, but the federal government is $40 trillion in debt. The cities are laying off people. The states are in a deficit and they're tapping into their emergency funds. You're not going to get $5 from the federal government, bro. You're better off going to run it up yourself. Regardless of where you stand on the issue, you're not going to get anything. Life of Tariq says, we're going to talk about the South Carolina decision on mail-in ballots. What's the South Carolina decision? Send it to me. I don't know about it unless y'all email it to me. They trying to raise taxes. They ain't trying to give nothing back to people. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to give y'all nothing. They're trying to run up a bag over there.
Tonight, just before the NFL season kicks off, a stunning turn of events off the field for the San Francisco 49ers. That's 49ers principal owner Jed York pleading no contest to a charge of disorderly conduct in Ohio. The married father of two, who court records show filed for divorce earlier this year, originally arrested on one count of engaging in prostitution. Prosecutors amending the charges, according to court documents. The documents state York responded to an undercover ad placed on a known prostitution website by a local human trafficking task force, arranging to meet a woman at this East Palestine, Ohio trailer park Sunday and pay her $140 in exchange for sex.
Yo, let me just say this really quickly. I have no idea what white men got going on right here, right now in this country. But for whatever reason, and this should be a sign to the ladies, for whatever reason, y'all keep thinking that white guys is tricking heavy on y'all. Billionaires are paying $140 for box in Ohio, in the backwoods, in the trailer park. They're pulling up to the trailer park to pay $140 for a box. They're not spending money on y'all. They not tricking off. You know why? You know where they spend money at? They spend money to keep you quiet. They spend money on lawyers. They spend money on legal fees. They spend money to fight you. They're not spending money to trick on you. That's not what they do. They don't spend money to trick on you, right? They spend money to keep their wives quiet. They spend money to keep their legal team in action, to try to keep this type of stuff from coming out, even though it's coming out already. They're not tripping off of this, man. Listen, he's on a back site. he's on the new back page. What's the website? Somebody tell me the website that y'all going to go and book up these chicks that y'all keep getting in the government sting for. What's the website? I want to know. They spending less on box than we do. So when y'all see all of this, spend that, and that's for the scammers, bro. That's for the scammers. Spend that go yard bag, all of that type of stuff. They not doing that. They not taking y'all out there and getting y'all go yard bags and all of this type of stuff. They paying. He felt like he put a tip on that. 40, 140. With tip. Remember Robert Kraft? Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, the one that was rocking out with Meek Mill. He was taking a private jet to go to a rub and tug. like no, like nobody, like nobody was gonna notice him. Hey, that's the billionaire owner in New England that owns the Patriots. He just got done getting a hand job by some random older Asian that's probably given out thousands of hand jobs in her life. Robert Kraft was allegedly flying to go get a hand job at a rub and tug. Is List Crawler, that's the name of the site. Let me go ahead and mess up my browser history. How do you do incognito? New incognito window. There we go. It's called List Crawler. Nah, let me not put this on my browser. Is it anything up? Can I get my... Where's my iPad? Is that the name of it for real? Let's see what we working with here, guys. It said List Crawler is the name of it. Let's find out. Now, don't y'all get no good bright ideas. You start going into it. It's listcrawler.eu. I agree, I'm 18. Oh, my God. Choose a state. Choose a country. Choose a state. I can't put this on the internet at all. Detroit. You can choose a city. This is a real site. Nah, dog. You know, I really feel like I'm doing something wrong right now. I, I feel like, yo, 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 this site is literally, bro, this site looked like 1997. I don't know who made this site, but this site looked like it was made in 1997, bro. This is wild. This is absolutely insane. Nah, bro. How do I get this off my browser, bro? Can I clear my browser history? It's crazy. So y'all still getting set up by the FBI? Y'all still getting set up by the FBI? Y'all still falling for the okie doke, bro? Come on, man. Tell me that y'all not falling for the okie doke. You got a billionaire owner that is literally, and he going through a divorce. That's the other part that we not going to talk about. And he going through a divorce. A billionaire owner that is on the internet booking $140 box in a trailer park, and you actually showed up? You pulled up? He didn't even send her a truck. He didn't even send a truck to all right, baby girl, I'm going to send you a truck and I'm going to bring you to me or nothing. He actually showed up. Wow. This shows you that men will do anything. When I told y'all yesterday, and I said, listen, guys will put in anything, anywhere. Anything, anywhere. They will do anything, and they're completely compromised with their morals and values depending on what their how much their boxolitis is. Y'all tried to act like I was crazy. Y'all tried to act like I was crazy. Now the athletes and stuff, they doing it differently. They doing it differently. You know what the athletes is doing? You know what the athletes is doing? They're uncompromising when it comes to going. Bro, athletes are DM demons at this point. All of them. Former, previous, new, old. Athletes are athletes are DM demons at this point. Real talk. They're not hiding themselves. They are literally in every single chick's DMs that look halfway decent in every city. I don't even know how they find them at this point. They are on 210% of the time. Yes, they are, bro. They're in everybody's DMs. And I'm not going to say no names because some of them is friends of mine and stuff like that. But they own them. They own them. They own them. They don't go to no back sites. They don't do none of that type of stuff. They go straight for the gusto. They just go straight in the chick's DMs. It's unthinkable. It's unfathomable how many DMs a lot of these guys are in nowadays. The athletes, the rappers, the athletes, everybody, all of them is on Instagram. All of them is on Instagram. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe, it's girls that's on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. And you know what they doing? They're showing their DMs and who they got it from. You're not gonna believe me. You don't want to believe. You don't want to believe me. They're literally showing the whoever the most famous guys that's inside of their DMs. That's what they do a slideshow of. I don't even want to show who the guys are. I can't do it because I'm just too real for that. I'm too real for that. They are literally showing the guys that slide in their DMs. It's bad out here in these streets, fellas. Be careful.
York also pleading no contest to possessing criminal tools, referring to his cell phone, which investigators say he used to arrange the meeting. As part of his plea, York was sentenced to 1 day in jail, given credit for time served, and ordered to pay more than $1,100 in fines. No response from York's attorney. Now focus turns to how the NFL might respond. The league only saying they're aware of the matter, which will be reviewed under the personal conduct policy. The 49ers, noting the matter's been resolved, declining to comment. York's from Ohio. His grandfather bought the 49ers nearly 40 years ago, the franchise hosting the Super Bowl earlier this year.
What really matters is the lasting impact that you create, the hope that you create.
And Maggie, that NFL season starts in 2 weeks. What could the NFL do here?
Yeah, well, Tom, the league's policy doesn't put any limits on punishments, only listing possibilities like paid leave. But it also says owners, quote, have traditionally been held to a higher standard and will be subject to more significant discipline. Tom.
Nothing is going to happen to him. But it's not even about the sentence. It's not even about any of that type of stuff. It's really more or less about the fact that it's embarrassing and he can't then hold his players accountable or to a higher standard, which is why it's a problem. He can't hold them accountable or to a higher standard because he out here doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. He can't hold anybody else to a standard. But there is nothing that you can do because what you going to do? He's the owner of the 49ers. The NFL is not going to make him sell the team or nothing like that. Maybe they can fine him or something, but what does he care? They the 49ers. It's the San Francisco 49ers. They just held the Super Bowl there, right? The team is a perennial decent team. There's nothing that you can do, but this is a sentiment of the people in San Francisco and what they had to say.
San Francisco 49ers owner Jed York pleaded no contest to criminal charges after being arrested on suspicion of engaging in prostitution in Ohio over the weekend.
Niners fans are sharing all kinds of opinions as the NFL investigates. Crown 4's Stephanie Rothman joins us live from Levi's Stadium with more on the drama. Stephanie.
Grant, as the team gears up for the start of the season, this bombshell only adds to the headache for the Niner Nation. York is from Ohio, and while the details surrounding this incident are still unclear, many fans here at home say they're disappointed and disgusted. According to court documents, the 46-year-old team owner, Jed York, pleaded no contest to disorderly conduct after being arrested on suspicion of engaging in prostitution over the weekend at Wheat Hills Mobile Home Community in East Palestine, Ohio. He was also convicted of possessing criminal tools, including the phone he used to set up a sexual meeting with a woman for $140. Legal analyst Stephen Clark says York will now look to quickly expunge his record.
York's legal team went on red alert and tried to keep this both handled quickly and out of the public spotlight. Mr. York entered a plea to a reduced charge, likely because he's a first offender. This is about law enforcement sending the message on education that prostitution is not a victimless crime.
The Human Trafficking Task Force said that York responded to an undercover ad that was posted to a known prostitution website. A judge sentenced York to 1 day in jail for each count which he served and paid a $150 fine under the disorderly conduct conviction and a $1,000 fine for possessing criminal tools. 49ers fans condemned York's actions outside Levi Stadium Monday morning.
Getting a $1,000 fine and getting off easy, it's disgusting. They need to do better. I mean, it's showing that people can just do dumb things and not get penalized for it. It's ridiculous.
You're like such a public person. I think you have more responsibility to be like, I don't know, like a good person, because many people is watching you, so I think that it's very important.
The San Francisco 49ers said in a statement, quote, "As this is a legal matter which has been resolved, we will not be providing any further comment at this time." The NFL said they are investigating and released a statement saying, quote, "We are aware of the matter, which will be reviewed under the personal conduct policy."
He made his choice, and there's consequences.
York is the majority owner of the 49ers, and it's unclear what punishments will come from the investigation. But of course, we'll keep you updated with that information as we receive it. Reporting live in Santa Clara, Stephanie Rothman, KRON 4 News.
Nothing is going to happen to him. Nothing is going to happen to him. Listen. You want to know what the worst thing that happens to him with this whole situation is? Because number one, he has already filed, I guess he already filed for a divorce. Nothing is going to happen to him. You know what's going to happen to him? He gets embarrassed. His reputation is actually more meaningful to him than the actual charge itself. And so they'll spend a ton of money to make this thing go away, to try to resolve his reputation and stuff like that. But as far as actually something physically happening to him, for him getting fined and stuff like that, because money talks. Money talks. It just is what it is. As an owner, listen, bro. Listen to what I'm saying. There's certain things that you can't, that you try to do differently, right? And the reason why you try to do certain things differently is because you're held to a higher standard once you start to become a public figure and once you start to run up a bag. And nowadays, you can't do anything when you go outside. I know a lot of y'all think that y'all regular people, but you won't be a regular person for the rest of your life. Eventually, you'll have a family. Eventually, you might get married. Eventually, you'll level up in your job and your business if you're good. If you're a halfway decent person, if you're successful, eventually you might become a public figure. Eventually you may become famous for whatever reason. And as I was growing up and as I was evolving, I wish I could tell y'all more, but I can't tell y'all. There's some stuff I just can't say. As I was growing up, I was really conscious about what my image, not even image, about not getting in certain trouble, because I knew that type of stuff always comes back to haunt you for whatever reason. I remember I got into an argument with a family member one time, and they were like, "Why are you so passionate about me getting in trouble?" And I said, "Because at some point I'm going to be famous and I'm going to be him. And I don't need you messing it up for me." Real talk. When I get pulled over by the police, I don't mind getting pulled over by the police. The problem is making sure that I don't say nothing that's out of pocket or get into a situation that the body cam will come out and then there's somebody be looking at you on the body cam. You know what I'm saying? If anything, bro, do you know the type of how much you have to skip over what you're doing to see a $140 box through, and what the possibilities of ruining your... Do you know how much you have to... all of the red flags that you got to ignore? Let's see. I'm the owner of the 49ers, one of the most valuable football teams, one of the most valuable sports teams in the U.S. I'm an owner of the 49ers. We just had the Super Bowl, right? Football season is about to start. I got this $140 box. First of all, you got to go to the site. Secondly, you got to scroll and you got to browse and you got to find something you like. Third, you got to make sure that it's targeted in your in your city. Fourth, then you got to actually see it through, contact them, negotiate a price, and then you got to get in your car and drive to a trailer park, bro, to go and get box. Bro, there's so many steps before you say, you know what? At some point in that process, you're supposed to say, nah, I'm not about to put myself on the line for this nonsense. Nah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Because it only take one situation where the police come out, you're under arrest. Oh, shit. Because the minute that they came out with the sex offender list, everything should have changed. The minute that they came out with the sex offender list on the internet, everything should have changed. You know why? Not because of the stuff that some of the people that end up on a sex offender list for, because some stuff that people end up on a sex offenders list is not even like a big deal, right? Of course, you got the pedos and stuff like that that's over there doing crazy stuff. That's different. But you can get put on the sex offenders list for pissing in the wrong place and somebody seeing your peen. Right? So now I can't even get out. You know, back in the day, back in the 90s, oh man, I gotta take a piss, bro. We've been drinking, we've been turning up, whatever. Hold on for a second, man. Let me just jump over real quick. The bushes. Can't even bushes piss no more. You can't even bushes piss no more. I know this ain't his first time. This is first time getting caught. You can't even piss in the bushes no more. They pull up. They got the body cams on. I said, oh, what's going on, officer? No big deal. Oh, you know what? I apologize. Thank you guys for pulling me over. Because I don't want no problems. I don't need it. I don't need no problems. My homegirl was drunk as hell. She said, oh, no, I'm just going to hell. I said, no, bro. You can come and get that truck tomorrow. You can get your truck tomorrow from the bar. I'm going to put you in this Uber. You're going to go home. Or we can get you a room and you can sleep that junk off. And then when you wake up in the morning, you can come to your senses and say, you know what? Because it just ain't worth it. It's not worth it, bro. The headache, the embarrassment, you possibly losing your job because you got a job that doesn't allow for you to do certain things, to get in certain trouble. It's not worth it. You just got to skip it. You got to skip it. You got to say, you know what? I just got to take the extra step. I got to take the extra step. I got to pay the extra step. I can't do the same thing that everybody else does because I have a brighter future that's ahead of me. Some of y'all, listen, some of y'all in this chat right now, let me change it a little bit. Let me modify what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Some of y'all watching this show right now are pieces of shit, right? You know how I know you're a piece of shit? Because you hit the dislike button. And so I know that at some point you dodged accountability and that you're running in the Victim Olympics. And you're never going to be anything. And so nobody cares. It doesn't matter. You can go ahead and get arrested and it's fine because nobody's ever going to care about what your record is and whether or not you actually him or not, all right? But for the rest of you, you got a future ahead of you. For the rest of you, you have a future ahead of you. Turn to your neighbor. Turn left, turn right. One of them is not going to make it. For the rest of you, you have a future ahead of you. Be very, very careful how you approach different situations. And when I say it, I'm not just talking about getting arrested. I'm talking about the women that you associate yourself with. Some of y'all hanging around and dealing with women that's not going to be conducive to your future. She gonna say something out of pocket. She gonna tell all of your business. She gonna do something and it's gonna mess up your whole situation. And so you got to be careful. You can't hang out with the same type of hoes that you hanging out with. You just got a promotion, big dog. You just got a promotion. And you're going to mess up your bag. You're going to mess up your job. And you're going to mess up your reputation. And you're not going to be able. You're going to be the same person that my man from the University of Michigan was, the coach. He thought he had it figured out. He probably was winning. He probably hit one. Then he probably hit the other one right after that. Had one on the payroll, one at the crib, one in the stands, one over here on the sideline. Probably had a couple others sprinkled about somewhere. And guess what? Now she's suing the University of Michigan. Now she's trying to get some money out of them. She messed up his bag. She went on TV. Sometimes you got to walk away from these situations because you're not a regular. You're not. At some point, some of y'all gonna have to. You're gonna have to remember either you're not regular or you're not going to be regular. And if at any point you anticipate being greater than where you are, you're gonna have to make some different decisions. There's been plenty of times. I was like, man, this would never work out for me. So let me go ahead and take my dumb ass home. Because I'm the type of person to get caught every time. Everybody else gonna get away with it. And I'm gonna be the one person to get pulled over. Woo! Sorry, sir. Can you please step out the car and take this breathalyzer test? Shit. I'm the type of person to get caught. I'm going to get caught. I already know it. That's the way it is. Every single time. Usually, and that's why I always had to be prepared when I was in school. Teacher would go, scan the classroom. Mr. Daniels, can you please stand up and read? That's why I was on top of it. Following along, making sure that I'm at the same paragraph so that when he say, hey, Mr. Daniels, can you continue where the last person left off? I'm not up there looking dumb. Well, where did you leave off again? Nope. I just was prepared. You know what? I'm going to just follow along. And then it's always the nigga after me. All right. JJ, can you follow along where Mr. Daniels left off? It's always the person after you. Always the person after. I'm gonna just do my homework. I'm not gonna get caught up in the nonsense. I'm gonna do my homework. I know that I'm going to get called out to read. I know that they're going to select me for a special search. I know that they're going to try to see. It happens I don't know how I become the lucky number one every single time to always been selected every day. Every time. And so since a little boy, I was just like, skip it. You know what? I can't do what everybody else do. Because God is telling me that I'm going to be different. Mr. Daniels, can you please stand up and continue to read after Carrie got done? And nothing feel better than being prepared. Sure. So, the boy jumped over and then you just start reading. And teacher be pleasantly surprised. Oh, okay. Okay. Life of Tariq says, I was talking about the Supreme Court decision on the mail-in ballots that was in favor for Trump. I don't know about it. You got to send it to me, Tariq. You got to send it to me. A billionaire getting nuclear-powered box in a town that's recovering from a train derailment that suffered a toxic spill. He getting Toxic Avengers box. Who he think is Captain Planet. J Dubs, you want to know the real reason? Shout out to J Dubs for the $20. Y'all want me? All right. I'm about to expose some of y'all secrets. Ladies, cover your ears because I'm going to tell the truth. Y'all want to know why guys pay for box? You want to know why guys hire escorts? You want to know why guys pay for box, especially that don't have to pay for box? Billionaires, millionaires, decent looking guys and all of that. Y'all want to know why guys pay for box? I'm going to tell you the number one reason. It's not what they tell you on the internet. Some guys are going to say, because, man, I don't want no attachments, or, it's just cheaper to just get it and get rid of her and all of this type of stuff. You want to know why guys go overseas to pay for box? I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth. It can't be any more honest. I am going to, not all has nothing to do with no strings attached. Nothing to do with no strings attached. Nothing to do with none of that. The main reasons why a lot of guys pay for box, because it's not like it's hard for them to get box, right? This guy, the owner of the 49ers, it's not hard to get box, right? Some of the reasons why some guys, most, not all, pay for box is some people feel as though if they're getting a professional service, then they won't ever be told on, or their business won't be exposed. So what does that mean? A lot of guys are insecure. If you have to interact with a person that got TikTok over here in the United States of America, or that's your chick, then you're going to get judged. You're going to get judged. If you go over to Colombia or the Dominican Republic with some rando that is in a whole nother country that barely even speak English, and you can give her a couple dollars, she won't even probably remember you, and it's never going to be any conversation about what it was or what happened. And so now you can do whatever it is that you wanted to do, right? You can fix your fetishes. You can run around with your little dick. You might have a little peckerwood. You might have a fetish that you want to get off that you don't feel comfortable about. Because if you interact with a person in real life, you got to talk to them. You got to have a conversation. You got to tell her, yo, you know what I'm saying? Can you do this to me? But if you go into a completely different place where where everybody knows your name. If you go to a different place, in a place where, where they don't know your name, and you could just pay for a service with no attachments, then that means that you can get your shit off and you can feel like you can do it without being judged. People will travel to hell and high water to not be judged. People will travel to hell and high water to not be judged. And so whether it's a fetish, whether it's an alternative lifestyle, whether it's you don't want to be exposed, whether you got a little dick, something like that, that is some of the main reasons why some guys, not all, feel more comfortable paying for box, whether they are here or whether they go somewhere else, than actually having to have a conversation and interact with a person in real life. But nobody is going to openly admit that. Nobody is going to say that. Nobody is going to tell you that honestly. They'll sit there and say, yeah, man, because these chicks inside of the U.S., man, these chicks ain't no different here than they are everywhere else. If you walk outside, I've already proven that 1,000 times over. You go outside, they going. All you got to do is go outside, say hi, they're going. There's never any shortage of people that are going. If you're intentional about actually interacting with women, they're going. It's not a secret. Now the circumstances behind it, that may be a little bit different. Women love sex. Women love sex. Women love sex sometimes more than men love sex in a lot of instances. They love it. They're not trying to preserve it. They're trying to have liberation. They're trying to be liberal. They really want to throw that back for a real one. A woman she'll ask you, why you ain't trying to hit? After a minute, if she feel like you're being too conservative, I feel like she's not going to say that overtly. She going to say, I feel like you're not really checking for me like that, or I feel like you don't really want me. Because she trying to understand why you're not pressed for the box. She'll say it in her own little way. She trying to figure out why you're not pressed for the box. They love it. They love it. They love throwing it back for a real one. They hot in the pants. They can't wait to give it out. They trying to figure out when they're going to give it away and how they're going to give it away. And some guys feel like they got to travel all the way across the nation in order to do it. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm. J-Dub says a billionaire getting nuclear power box in a town that's still recovering from a train derailment that suffered a toxic spill is crazy work. Who do you think he is, Captain Planet? What up, cuzzo? I know you got to be from the D, bro. You got to be from Detroit. That's definitely not his first time going there. Probably not. I doubt it. King DJ Tricks, what up? You in the building? I see you over there in Canada. Says, I'm around lots of models and corn stars at names, and the names I hear are regulars. Eric Harris says, I had to delete my IG because women will DM me their menu. I'm like, who told you I was thirsty? The drink menu. Wesley Turner says he's a Hunter Biden type of rich hair. King DJ Trick says the Patriots owner and the Miami Dolphins owner, I believe, were caught. The old Clippers owner lots the team over a Don Magic Wand worker. Jakeem Barr says, I sent my parents to Trump accounts for my kids, but they got mad over the name. Why can't they separate politics from investing in their grandkids' future? You know why. Mr. Joe says he paid for box to avoid getting extorted. All Natural says, why can't some husbands tell the whole truth when the ladies are found on the phone and the wifey shares it? Again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I want to head over to Deshaun Watson because he did a press conference the other day, and then he did a press conference recently also. Some people are even saying that he apologized. I don't know about that. But we're going to get into it. Let's rock, y'all.
What are your first thoughts on the performance you had in the third quarter, and maybe why you weren't able to build off of what you did in the preseason opener?
Yeah, it just didn't go our way. Didn't get completions and execute. I think that's the biggest thing.
What did you see on the interception?
I don't know. I got hit, so I was asking guys on the sideline what happened. So I haven't even seen the play actually, so I'm not even sure.
And then that last fourth down, did it get tipped?
Yeah, it got tipped.
Obviously, we had talked to you about before the game, like how you might respond to whatever the crowd reaction was. Obviously, there were some boos out there. Just what was your kind of reaction in the moment?
I mean, I didn't have no reaction. I think the biggest thing is I I think you guys know too, and I think the whole world knows. It has nothing to do about the performance. It's a little bit personal than that. So I think it's a disrespectful thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep whatever I feel with me and my family internally on how I feel about that, and yeah, just move on.
But don't you think, Deshaun, that winning and playing better would eliminate some of that booing?
Last time I played on this field, I tore my Achilles, and that same fan base, they cheered when I got hurt. So, does that have to do with? What does that have to do with anything about performance? When a person get hurt, especially for your own city, and they cheer.
Does any of that make you regret coming here?
No, I don't regret anything in my life. You know, I think the Lord put me through situations for a reason, so I don't regret anything at all. But you know, I had different thoughts on how it was going to be, but you know, it is what it is. You know, sometimes, you know, the tables turn, and I'm patient enough because I'm a child of God to, you know, wait for that time to change. So
why do people always bring God into a situation instead of just owning what they say? Somehow, some way, they always bring God into it and try to make it seem like, well, you know, I'm a child of God, so, you know, it is what it is. No, sir. Listen. Let's keep it 100% real right now, and I'm going to speak to it from a relatively regular person's perspective, right? You've made $200+ million. You are getting paid to play a game, to play football. First of all, anybody that boos me while I'm making $200 million+, I'm probably going to be a little bit more concerned in this and say, well, wait a minute. What is it that I need to do to win y'all back? You know why? Because I'm making $200+ million. Now, this is what I call being tone deaf. This is what I call being tone deaf. It is. This is what I call being tone deaf. And the reason why I call it being tone deaf is because the team is paying you. The people are booing you. And so as a result, the number one goal for a sports team and sports fans is victory. Let me say that again for the people in the back. The number one goal for sports fans is victory. Meaning that the minute that you start playing better on the field is the minute that they start looking at you differently and they start treating you differently. And the boos turns into cheers and claps. And you just can't really take it personal. You just can't take it personal, bro. Like, clearly he's taking it personal. And so he's expressing that in the press conference before the season starts. And it's completely tone deaf. And why do I say that it's tone deaf, right? Why do I say that it's tone deaf? The reason that I say that it's tone deaf is because people spend their hard-earned money. People work every single day. And some of these people, the only thing that they have to look forward to every single year is the games, is the Browns. They spend their season ticket money. They take their kids, right? This is their lifeblood. This is the thing that then keeps them together. And so for the fans that spend money on you, it then is being looked at as disrespectful because it's almost like, wait a minute, you gonna diss the people that ultimately support the team that pay your salary? If you want to know what not to do in a situation, this is very much it. Yes, they do take time off to go to games. And I'm not even tripping over the fact of whether he performed great or he didn't perform great. Listen, people are going to have good games. They're going to have bad games. I think that if a team is paying you hundreds of millions of dollars, I think it is your obligation to give it your all and do everything that you can to show up. I'll go so far as to say I think it's your obligation to do everything you can to show up. And it doesn't matter if you're making hundreds of millions of dollars or not. We only qualify it a lot of times based off of how much somebody makes. But I'm often at times perplexed when people say stuff like, oh, my job don't pay me enough money for me to actually do a good job. What? You're supposed to be giving great effort regardless of what you do, because that's supposed to be who you are. Oh, I'm not going to do a great job at my job. But you signed up for the job. But you applied for the job. I don't understand how you're not giving your all, or at the very least trying to meet the expectation, the minimum expectation, or trying to exceed expectations. And I'm talking about just regular people, let alone somebody that's a 100 millionaire. I be trying to figure out how people be feeling some type of way about the job that they work regularly. And I'm like, but wait a minute, that's your job. They pay you. They give you money in order to pay your bills or whatever, so on and so forth. And I be confused a lot of times on why people is feeling some type of way about that. Like, wait a minute, they ain't they running up a check for you? Like, wherever I go, bro, when I was stocking shelves at Home Depot overnight, I wanted it to be sweet. Like, for my own purposes, I knew that the customers was going to come in and then put all of the different, because they always used to put me in a plumbing aisle. Plumbing aisle is the worst aisle that you can work on. But if you the new guy, then they going to put you on the worst aisle to work on. And so they put me in the plumbing aisle. You got all of these stupid white fittings, and they all started to look the same, and they all started to go, but I just made sure that I did as good of a job as I could possibly do for the time that I was there. Now, when I left, right, when I would go home, then I'm like, okay, well, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here. I'm not focused on that. I'm not focused on what's going on inside of the, at the job right now. But while I was at the job, it even helped me pass time better. Doing your job effectively helps you get out of there faster. It helps to pass the time better at the job when you're halfway decent at what you do for a living. Keeping it 100 with you. And so you always want to just do a decent job because that's the nature of who you are. I hate lazy people. I can't stand lazy people. I hate it when people show up but then don't show up. It's like, well, why are you here? What's the point of coming into work? Like, some of y'all come into work with a bad attitude. And it's so cool. It's okay if you come into work with a bad attitude or a nonchalant attitude because maybe you had a bad day here and there. But some of y'all come into work with a bad attitude every single day. And I'll be like, are you good?
I'm not tripping on it.
How about the quarterback competition? Do you feel like just...
He also did another press conference where they saying that he apologized, I think. So we're going to go over to that one next.
Everyone ready? Good. First off, I want to address the comments from Saturday after the game. That
hat is sick. That hat is sick. He got that hat is dope.
I think just, human nature, just myself being very emotional, putting a lot of time these last 2 years to, get back and, spend time in this facility, in the city, meeting a lot of different people in the community. I thought I was going to get, a little different response, but, I think, my emotions got the best of me. And, my comments wasn't intending to go at any of the fans around in the city, because there's been a lot of great fans that have been supporting me. And I know the frustration this organization have put, a lot of investment in coming, to get me back in 22. And things haven't been going the right direction that we thought it was. A lot of injuries, a lot of time off, and not putting the best football and my foot forward. So, again, just, I understand the frustration. I understand everything that kind of goes into that. And moving forward, I just want to focus on football, making sure that, I'm putting the best product out there, having the best ability, because I thrive off the energy. I thrive off the energy of the fans. I thrive off the energy of the community. I thrive off all that stuff. I think looking back in my history at Clemson and, previous at the Houston organization, I was a big community guy, big city guy, big fan guy, during the game. So, again, my emotions got the best of me. I'm human. I take full responsibility of that. And, just moving forward, I want to make sure that I put the best product for the team, for the organization, and for this city so we can put a lot of wins and make sure that I celebrate and put Cleveland on the map. And that's why I put the helmet on my head and I put the uniform on my body, is to go out there and make sure I put my best foot forward. And that was one of the reasons why I chose this city, is to come and have a lot of wins with this community, with this city, and make sure that we on the right track so we can have a lot of, celebrations and a lot of excitement to go each and every Sunday. So, again, moving forward, I just want to make sure that, I can give the city something to, think about, in the first two games. And, when we come back home, that we have something to cheer about and we can celebrate and, go do what we want to do. And that's achieve the ultimate goal and go win and, be a champion.
I don't know what to believe. I don't know if they had a conversation with him and said, hey, big dog, you got to go out there and you got to make this right. We're going to do another press conference, and I need you to actually apologize to the fan base and clear this up and tell them that you're not going at all of the fans. Maybe you was a little bit emotional, but you got yourself together, and you're going to go about doing things a little bit differently going forward. I'm not sure if they told him to do that. I do think that you should give him grace because he is human. I think that you should give him grace because let me revise that. If you're a Cleveland Browns fan and you know that this is your starting quarterback, I do think that you should probably give him grace. But I'm not sure how he came to the conclusion that he has to apologize and that he's approaching it this way.
So what is your reaction to being named the starter now?
It's great. Like I mentioned before, this is what I've been working for 2 years, is to be able to show that, I'm capable of being a starter for one of the 32 organizations in this league. And, today was a assignment I had no idea until I walked into the building and I talked with Coach Monk. And, it felt good, and a lot of excitement, but it comes with a lot of work too. There's a lot of work, there's a lot of challenges that I have to continue to overcome, and I just got to continue to work on, achieving those victories each and every day. So I'm ready and prepared, and there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but at the same time, I'm excited to be, a starting quarterback in this league, and especially a starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
Were you worried that the comments Saturday could affect the decision to make you the starter?
Not necessarily, because I know how Monk, we talked about it. We mentioned it, and I just felt like, again, in that moment, as a human, as my emotions going on, I just, felt what was on my heart. But we spoke on it. We moved on from it, and we on the same page as an organization and as a team. So, like I said before, moving forward is just focusing on playing good football and putting W's on the board.
What gives you the confidence and the hope that the things that didn't go right for you Saturday, once you get in regular season game action starting week 1, they'll start to go right for you?
Because I have an organization and a team, walking in the building today that has, 110% support, And I think that goes a long way. And knowing that I have teammates in our locker room that support me, knowing that I have a coaching staff that support me, knowing that I have an organization that support me, all the other stuff got to take care of itself on the field. And now it's my job to be able to show that, I'm capable of putting points on the board and getting W's. And I think that, if we can do that, then I can earn the respect and loyalty to the rest of the fan base. And that's what I got to do. Because again, it was a big investment, and we haven't got the product out of that investment just so far. And I have another shot, I have another chance. So I want to make sure I take full responsibility of this opportunity.
Deshaun, off of that, Todd also said it, that if you play winning football, all of that conversation kind of goes away. For you, are you prepared, though, for the reaction if there are those highs and lows, those bumps in the roads early?
Am I prepared? I don't think you ever can really be prepared for that.
I think you're absolutely right, BBW Lover. That's a crazy name, number one. That's a crazy name, number one. Number two, shout out to the slogan. I think I coined that. But on your talking point, I think you're right. People just want to see Shedeur. I don't know what the ownership has against Shedeur Sanders. I don't know if they just don't like him. I don't know if he's said something to piss them off behind the scenes. I don't know what that is, but I think that that's just really what it comes down to. I think that Deshaun Watson is also stuck between a rock and a hard place because he's in a space where people want to see Shedeur Sanders, and they paid him an egregious amount of money. And the owner and the fan base is clashing because the people want Shedeur, and obviously ownership doesn't necessarily want to play him like that, regardless of how well he did in the preseason. So it's a very difficult situation. I think that people probably made it a little bit more than it should have been, but it doesn't really matter. Deshaun Watson is rich. I don't think he cares. I don't think he's tripping about it. I think he's feeling very comfortable in who he is and what he got going on, and he's not making a big deal about it. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Mr. Joe says, Watson has only played 19 games in the past 5 years. Meanwhile, he was on IG flexing a private jet and jewelry. He lacks self-awareness. I think that as an athlete, you should get off of social media. R. Hardy says, despite being a Steelers fan, I'm hoping he has a good season. Oh, you're such a good guy, bro. You're a good person. Let me see what else we got going on in these streets. Oh, you know what? Let me just tackle this $40 trillion deficit right now. And I'm going to just give y'all my general thoughts because I'm going to deep dive a little bit more inside of the Patreon. But let's get to this.
The national debt just hit a record high, $40 trillion, yes, with a T, dollars. The number staggering, and it arrived sooner than predicted. The debt roughly doubling in less than 10 years. So what does all this mean to you? CNN's Matt Egan is here to break it all down for us. I guess the big question is, how is this going to impact Americans, and not just now, but potentially for the long run?
Yeah, Sarah, I mean, $40 trillion, this is another grim milestone. This number, it's so hard to even wrap your head around. It's just such a big number. Let's look at the live tracker of the national debt. You see just over $40 trillion. Now, if you broke that down per person, per every single person in the United States, it's almost $120,000, just staggering. And when you look at this is a look at how fast it's growing. Almost $5 million per minute, Sarah. So just since we started talking, we've added about $5 million to the national debt, $285 million per hour, and almost $7 billion a day. And again, when you look at what this means per person, talk about $117,000 per person in the United States. We look at the trend for the national debt. Going back to the start of the century, it was around $6 trillion in the year 2000. But look at this. It has just skyrocketed since then. Why? Because of government spending, because of tax cuts, because of war after war after war, because in 2008, right around here, you had a once-in-a-century financial crisis. And then in 2020, we had a once-in-a-century pandemic. You put it all together, and yes, you get $40 trillion. Now, it's also true that the U.S. economy is a lot bigger today than it was back in 2000. That's why we like to look at debt to GDP. Now, even on that metric, though, things are moving in the wrong direction. Back in 1966, the debt was about 40% of the economy. 1996, 64%. But look at this, more than the entire size of the economy, and it's projected to go higher and higher. Now, one of the reasons the debt has gone up is because the United States has these aging demographics, right? Every single day, you've got about 10,000 baby boomers retiring, and that has forced the government to spend more on what? Social Security, right? So far this fiscal year alone, $1.4 trillion in Social Security, another $955 billion on Medicare. But this is not just about aging demographics. Look at this net interest. This is essentially how much the government has to spend just to finance the mountain of debt. $931 billion just this fiscal year, on track to surpass $1 trillion. And what's really notable is, look at this. We're spending more to finance the debt than on the national defense, right? More money going to the creditors than on stealth bombers.
Look at the list, y'all. Objectively speaking, let's talk about this. One of our biggest spending is $1.38 trillion on Social Security. This is disrespectful, and it is absolutely the dumbest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. And look at this other stuff. Look at this other stuff. Medicare, Medicaid, interest. We pay almost $1 trillion a year. That means when we go to work every day, when we earn, when we hustle, when we gotta hustle, do you know that we are paying involuntarily almost $1 trillion a year in interest just from the money that we owe? Social Security, Medicare, and interest. Social Security, Medicare, and interest. That's what we paying for, y'all. According to the U.S. Treasury. It's not a secret. It's public information. And now the national debt has hit $40 trillion. When I voted this past November in 2024, all right? When I voted in 2024, the main things that was meaningful to me was immigration, taxes, and the national debt. Immigration, taxes, and the national debt. When the national debt continues to explode, it makes things less affordable for the regular everyday people. That's why I thought that the Department of Government Efficiency was a good thing. Why? Because the promise was that they were going to audit every part of the federal government so that we can cut out and trim spending, lower taxes, and then start to address the problem with the national debt. Because the more that the national debt goes up, the less valuable the American dollar is. And this is why I have to have an emergency video that I got coming out for the Patreon. I'm almost finished editing it today. Is because your dollar is rendered almost useless, or the value of it goes down, because we have to spend more money every single year on servicing the interest, on feeding into this dumbass Ponzi scheme known as Social Security, which is why I tell y'all all the time, do not depend on Social Security to give you a comfortable retirement, because it is nothing but a Ponzi scheme, okay? Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. I want y'all to understand this. There's not enough money in Social Security. Social Security is not even supposed to be a part of the budget. I'm giving you the honest to God truth. I'll talk about the solution when it comes to the national debt, but I'm going to talk about the solution in the Patreon when it comes to our own personal finances, because I'm already pivoted. Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. Under no circumstances should it be considered anything but. We're paying into it so that they can pay for people that are now retired. It's not funded. It's not funded. Social Security is supposed to be an investment that is already funded, like an endowment that allows for people to draw without affecting the principal. But instead, more people every day are retiring and getting Social Security benefits, which is why they keep talking about raising taxes. Pensions are not funded. And so we have to pay more every single day for services, goods, and in taxes, only to watch the national debt go more and more. Elon Musk once said, and I tend to think he's one of the smartest people on the planet. Elon Musk once said that if we don't get control of the national debt, it will really be the undoing of the United States. It's that big of a deal. People keep talking about all of this other stuff. I'm telling you that there is no more impactful outside of our military. We have to have a military. But outside of that, there is no more impactful thing that's on this list than the national debt itself. Nothing is more important. Listen, if you don't address, because if at any point investors no longer feel confident that the United States has the ability to be able to pay its bills, then everything goes south. Everything goes left. And I suspect that at some point in our lifetime, in the near future, not only are we not going to hand the country over in a better shape had we not been here when it comes to the national debt, right? I suspect that at some point in the near future, we are going to get to a point to where we cannot service the national debt if it continues to grow, because now it's compounding. It's compounding. So what do? Bro, do you know how bad people fought the Department of Government Efficiency from auditing? You know how bad? Because people don't truly know. They have no clue. They have no clue whatsoever. And all of these Democrats keep saying, and all of these socialists keep saying, listen, you can just pay a little bit more taxes and pay a little bit more taxes and pay a little bit more taxes. Well, what the hell are you doing with the money that we already give to you? And I'm not even putting this on the feet at the doorstep of any president. I'm not putting this at the doorstep of any president. You know why? Because not enough accountability goes towards Congress. Congress are the people that control the purse strings. They have been, as most of them as lifetime members. There are no term limits on Congress. Presidents come and go. Policy come and go. Circumstances come and go. War come and go. But Congress sticks around for decades. And they control the purse strings of America. And they fight against every single president that decides to audit, which tells me that the biggest fraud, the biggest Ponzi schemes, and the biggest frauds in the U.S., it happens in Congress. In the same way that city council controls the budgets of the city, is the same way that Congress controls the purse strings of the U.S. And they fought tooth and nail not to audit the federal government. They fought tooth and nail not to, but meanwhile, they'll sit here and try to make it seem like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And they'll act like they fighting with Trump and that they fighting with Republicans and they going back and forth. And Republicans act like they fighting with Democrats and all of that stuff. And the national debt just running up. On average, the national debt equates to over $100,000 per person here in the U.S. So even if I gave the federal government $100,000, you have to give them 100. You have to give them 112. You got to give them 112. You got to give them 112. So the thing that I'm always asking is, it's the same thing when it comes to your own budget. What happens if you can't pay your bills? What happens if you feel like you house poor? What happens if you keep paying credit cards but you don't feel like you're making any headway? What do? You audit. You say, okay, wait a minute. Hold on, baby girl. We make $120,000, $130,000, $140,000 combined, $150,000 combined. I make 80, right? I make 80, you make 70. We make $150,000 a year. Why are we struggling? What's going on? What's really happening? You're not going to keep trying to convince me that it's the cost of bread. I went to the grocery store. I got a whole lot of groceries yesterday. Bananas. I got 4 organic bananas and it cost me $1.11. No lie. Because I needed to know what was going on. I wanted to know, why are people saying that they're only getting 4 items for $100 inside of the grocery store? I didn't even go to like Whole Foods. I went to Myers. Myers is the equivalent of a Walmart. I went to Myers, the neighborhood store. And so I got a whole bunch of groceries. I got my applesauce that I'm eating right now. I got a whole bunch of waters in the pack. Bread, chicken, beef, everything. I got the whole 9 yards. I got the condiments, mustard. I got the whole thing. Breakfast food, eggs, all in the 9 yards. I got the whole refrigerator is good. For 101, I spent $101. Okay, so, and I'm using this as an example, right? Okay, so I spent $101, and then you spend X and you spend it. So where the fuck is your money going? Where's your money at? Y'all ever listen to all of my all of my people that's in a relationship, married, living with a person? You know what the most scary thing for a woman is combining finances. You know why most women don't want to combine finances? Because they don't want to be accountable for how they spending money. A woman in most instances wants to keep finances separated, not because she don't want to be taken care of. Actually, she prefers to be taken care of, but she's unwilling to make the sacrifice of exposing how she spends money. And so she prefers to have her own account or to have her finances separate. Because if you, as the responsible party, go through and you say, all right, wait a minute, we trying to buy a house, we trying to save, we got to make sure that we put these kids through college. Let's make sure that we go ahead and get our budget in order. She gonna look like somebody stole her puppy. She might even start crying. Because if you ask her and you say, well, wait a minute, I make 80, you make 70. All of my money been going to bills. Where's your money going? What do you spend your money on every week? I mean, I be having to buy makeup, and you told me I had to pay my own insurance. I went out with the girls the other day. That doesn't add up to what your paycheck is. That doesn't make sense. How do I know this? Because I remember my own mama. Yes. Rita and my mother had this bad habit. And the reason that I was able to suspect that Rita was a culprit too was because she used to help my mother hide stuff that she went shopping for. And so my mom would come in and she would leave stuff inside of the car. And then she would come in, and if my father wasn't there, then she would bring in some extra bags and all of this stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And I asked Rita, I said, well, what's going on there? He said, oh, that's your mama. So, you play along. Oh, yeah, cool. Word. And now I talk to Leslie. And I say, Leslie, what's going on? And she said, oh, that's mama. Mama be doing all of that, not me. And then I talk to Rita and I say, Rita, what's going on? Oh, that's Leslie. Leslie is doing all of that spending. So then if I sit them down, listen, true story, I'm not going to cap with you. I'm going to keep it 100. So then I'll sit them down and I say, hey, listen, ladies, we got to get this spending in order. And this, this is how I know. This is how I know that both of them is so guilty. They so dead wrong and guilty. I say, hey, guys, we got to get this spending in order. And you know how I know if they're guilty? They'll hurry up and agree because they want me to stop talking. Yep. You know what? Yep, we're going to get better. We're going to be on top of it. Absolutely. 100%, yeah. No, yep, you're right. Let me get myself together. You're right. Because they think that that's going to be the end of the conversation. And then I'm going to say, okay, so I'm going to say, all right, guys, so let me go over the budget. So let me show you what you've been spending and let me show what you were spending. And the first thing that Rita says is, oh, Jesus. And then Leslie says, Dad, no, I promise I'm going to do better. No, I don't want to, I want to go through it. I just want to promise I'm going to do better. Dad, no, it's okay. I promise I'm on it, Dad. I'm going to do better. And Rita's like, oh my God, oh Jesus. And they start breathing hard. And then I look over there at their Apple Watch. And you know how a lot of people don't know. Sometimes when you just doing like this or whatever, I'm conscious of it because I do reaction videos and I can see my Apple Watch on the video sometimes, right? But sometimes when you get nervous, your Apple Watch will start showing the heart rate because your heart rate rises. So then I look down and the Apple Watch is going a little doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. And why am I saying this? Because the girls are like Congress. They don't want an audit. They don't want me to go through the budget and say, okay, so listen, this is what you spent on a card, and this is what you spent on a credit card, and this is they don't want me to go through an audit. They do not want the Department of Government Efficiency inside of the home. They're not interested in that. And neither is Congress. And unfortunately for the American people, neither are we interested in having conversations about things that actually are meaningful, because we just want to keep talking about flock cameras and government overreach and what did it cost the bread? We don't want to listen. The last thing that is the most unsexy thing, the most unsexy thing in this country is to be having a conversation about solving for the national deficit. That is not a talking point. They want us to mention socialists. They want us to mention keywords oligarchy. They want us to mention certain words and certain trigger words that get the people going when it comes to engaging. Racism, disenfranchising, Black women jobs, trans, men and women's bathrooms, immigration, ICE, all of that stuff polls well. If you start going in, listen. If I come in and I say, all right, I'm about to run for mayor of Detroit, right? And I say, all right, guys, so listen, the one thing that we don't want to do is get ourselves back in the same situation that we was when we filed for bankruptcy. You see what's happening in Chicago, right? They're going down the drain. All right, guys. So the first thing that we got to do is we want to make sure that we don't issue any new bonds. We don't need to borrow no more money. We done with borrowing money. We have to learn how to manage more effectively, and we have to actually go and do a city audit to make sure that every department is spending money accordingly. If I go out there and I pitch that to the people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They're not interested in hearing that. They don't want to know that your economy is going to collapse. That's not even sexy when he's talking to people. You know what I keep hearing people come in when they come into this live stream? You know what they keep saying? Oh, man, did he talk about yada yet? Did he talk about yada? Did he talk about yada? They're not interested in talking about no national deficit. They don't want to know how they can get better. That's why we separated and we say, well, this is for the bag chasers and the Patreon members, because I don't have to convince those people, hey, we're about to get to the money. We're about to talk about stocks. We're about to talk about real estate. We're about to talk about running up a bag. We're about to talk about making sure that we lower our lifestyle so we can make the adjustments and run up a bag long term and all of this other stuff and be in a great position. I don't have to motivate them because that's what they're there for. Here, they want to get messy. They want us to talk about, oh, man, did you talk about it yet? Did you talk about it yet? Did you talk about it yet? 72 people came in late. Did you address it? I know you gonna kill it. I know you're gonna kill it. I know you're gonna kill it. I know you're gonna deep dive into it. They don't want to talk about this. They're not interested in talking about this. What? National deficit? They want to tuck their head in the sand and hope that the government somehow, some way solves for it while not affecting their lifestyle. That's the goal. It's the same thing when it comes to the military. Nobody wants to know what the military goes through. They just want to know that you going to keep us safe and that we don't have to think about it. I don't want to think about no military. Are we safe or are we not? Asking for a friend. The minute I start mentioning these hoes, hey man, but these hoes is out of control. Yeah, that's crazy. Get her. Get them. Get them, Ty. Get them. Get on these hoes. Anton is an equal accountability smoke giver. See, he go after everybody. The minute that we start talking about the national deficit, everybody is whoop. More quiet than a prophesying evangelist coming in and telling all your business during the church service. More quiet than everything that you can think of. Scott Besson spoke on this also.
Yesterday, do you have further actions planned, and what's your reaction to how they've done?
Yeah, well, look, anything that happens within a 24-hour period is noise. And, you know, I think that once the market understands that we are focusing on fiscal consolidation and that we are trying to bring the market back into equilibrium in a thinly traded market, I think, I'm confident that bonds will continue declining. We've got a spike in oil prices today that I don't really understand. You know, our announcement is for economic action. And I think that the economic action will mean that oil prices will come down sooner.
Secretary, yeah, if you could answer facing the cameras. But for the $40 trillion mark that we passed for the national debt, would you comment on that, and how do we reverse that?
Yeah, look, the 40 trillion is a big number. It is smaller when we look at the publicly traded amount because our Social Security funds and other government entities hold a substantial amount. And what we're going to do, we're going to have to grow our way out of this. And as I talked about at G20 in Asheville, we are going to talk about the U.S. growth strategy and encourage the rest of the world to come along with us. We are also, I announced that Director Russ Vought and I have been tasked with looking at fiscal consolidation. I think the numbers have are not the actual numbers now. We've had to do substantial tariff refunds due to the court ruling, but with the Section 301 tariffs, I am confident that we will be back to the same level, if not higher, of tariff income for last year, and that is most of the increase in the deficit. And remember, we did not get here in a day. That we were left with a mess. The Biden administration had the highest deficit to GDP in history when we weren't at war or weren't in a recession. For 2025, we brought it down by more than 1%.
President Trump announcing
as compared to other presidents.
Neil McCabe. Mr. Secretary, Target received a $1 billion refund for tariffs. What does that say about the size, besides the fact that it was done so quickly and efficiently, the refund, but what does it say about the amount of Chinese-made goods and foreign-made goods that our retailers are still selling in the United States?
Yeah, well, what it says is that the Democratic attorney generals who filed a ridiculous lawsuit against this administration wanted the money to go back to the payer of record. So that is corporate welfare. The American people had that money. And if I hear another Democratic legislator make the inane remark, the American people should get the money, the American people had the money in the U.S. Treasury and we were forced to give it back. But using the 301s, which have survived more than 5,000 suits, that we will get that tariff income back. But what you are seeing is that.
Let me tell you what I'm not going for in this particular issue. I'm with this administration when it comes to immigration. I'm with the administration when it comes to the big, beautiful bill. I'm with the administration when it comes to a lot of things. But I don't want to see nobody else blaming nobody else. The only thing I care about is what are we going to do to fix it? I don't care, bro. I don't care. It's happened under multiple different presidents. It's happened under Bush. It's happened under Obama. And and everybody's going to have an excuse. Well, 9/11. Well, the economy collapsed in the housing market. Well, under Trump. Well, we had to rebuild the military. Well, Iran. Well, the pandemic under Biden. All of this, man, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care which president it did or didn't. The only thing I care about is, are we going to make the adjustment and are we going to cut the spending? And if we ain't going to cut the spending, then and let me just tell you the honest to God truth. I'm going to keep it 100% with y'all. I'm going to be so honest and so real with y'all. And this is why I'm making a special video specifically just for the Patreon members. I don't see it. I don't see this administration. I don't see next administration. I don't see anybody, nobody doing the thing that is uncomfortable. You know why? Because it's unpopular to do. To cut spending, to cut jobs, to cut the way the government to go and find the fraud, to do all of the work to actually find out where the money is going and to expose what Congress has been allowing to. Congress, this shouldn't even be a presidential issue. This should be Congress. Congress should be all over this. They take vacations. They can't even keep the goddamn government open half of the time. Congress, Bernie, all of them should be out there trying to figure out what the fuck is going on and where the money is. Dog, don't come to us for another tax dollar. Don't ask us to raise taxes. Don't ask us to tax the rich. Don't pass nothing on to the middle class. Don't do nothing. Don't say go. Don't collect $200. Don't do nothing. The only thing I care about is find out where the goddamn money is going and cut it. And cut it. Real talk. Because if you can't effectively manage every single year, the national deficit should be going down $1 trillion. Every single year, the national deficit should be going down $1 trillion every year. No exceptions. You only can spend what you have. Only spend what you have. Crazy. Crazy. I don't want to hear nothing about whose fault it is and all of this other. Man, Biden can't even, he got cancer. All right, we kicked Biden's butt. We ran him up out of office. Cool. I don't want to hear nothing else about Biden. I really don't. I don't care. I don't care about Biden. Biden probably don't even know where he is. He probably eat ice cream 7 times a day now. We don't care about Biden. Honest to God. At this point, when it comes to the federal deficit, yep, it's fun. I love the jokes, auto pen, all of that. I don't care nothing about none of this, bro. The only thing that I want to do is cut this deficit. Oh, I'll be pissed when I get my property taxes. And I pay them the last day too. I'm thinking about protesting and waiting for 3 months and then paying them then. I'll be pissed. When I get property taxes, I'll be so aggravated. I'll be on fire on my property taxes. I don't want to hear none of this junk no more, man. I'm over it. So make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. If you're not a bag chaser, if you're not a Patreon member, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat, family. I don't want to hear none of that junk no more, bro. Only thing I want is solutions. King DJ Trick says, after I spent $23,000 in 1 month on my grandmother's funeral. You spent $23,000 in 1 month on your grandmother's funeral? Sent my mom and her sister to Jamaica. They took first class and now they're saying they're spoiled and won't go back to regular seat. Bro, you spent $23,000 on a funeral? That's a lot of money, bro. Bro, I seen the most ghetto funeral that I've ever seen in my entire life. Speaking of that. Did I see it on Instagram? I think I shared it on my story. There it is. Yo, I seen one of the most ghetto funerals. Somebody said, why is the goats there? Because, yes, they're goats. Because they saying that the person that died was a goat, was one of the goats. I didn't even know that they wrapped caskets, bro. Did y'all know that they do casket wrappings now? Like cars. You know how you can go and get your car wrapped? Do you know that they wrap caskets? The casket was wrapped. Let the get casket. Ain't no saving the cult. Ain't no saving the culture, bro. Ain't no saving the culture. At all. One Demetrius says, the majority of my check goes into my stock portfolio, leaving nothing in the bank should this change. Also, no, you're doing it the right way. I'm going to give you some more insight. Also, how much to be the first in line for coaching? I don't do it like that, Demetrius. You know that. Rush King 19 says, I already knew that this would happen. Would have been speeding towards a wall for a long time. You can't just turn things around in less than a decade. It's bad, bro. Chosen says, you did the same. And what exactly is the same? You did the same by saying you were a Christian, then cussed Corey Holcomb out. I cuss everybody out. I cuss you out. Fuck what you talking about, my nigga. And what is it that I did the same as Deshaun Watson? I didn't know that Corey was a fan. Like the Bears got fans. I didn't know he never was a fan of me. So I can't cuss him out? Is he a Christian? Did he profess himself to be a Christian? Did he give his life over to God? Did he give his life over to the Lord? Did he get saved? Did he get the Holy Ghost? Speaking in other tongues as the Spirit of God give utterance? Am I missing something? Yeah, you know what else I noticed? Let me address this before I go into something different. Y'all can't let this go. I don't talk about it. I'm not sure if he talks about it or not. But y'all niggas, y'all own this. Y'all own this like you literally just paid to say that. Y'all be on this like a motherfucker. Y'all don't want to let this go. Like the comedian, I'm like, yo, I think he doing his own thing. I haven't checked. I don't know what he got going on. I'm pretty sure he probably moved on with his life. I'm certainly doing incredibly well, and I've moved on with my life. It's like, y'all still stuck on that? I guess I made an impact. Look at my daughter. Look at this. Look at this. What's my budget? Yeah, non-Christians always tell you how to be a Christian. Non-Christians always tell you how to be a Christian. And that's fair. They can say whatever they want to say. I'm not tripping about it. You can't get mad if I respond to it. That's all I'm saying. Right? All is fair in love and war. I want to go over to Paramount for a quick second. Remember Paramount was actually in a bidding war with Netflix for Warner Brothers Studios, and Paramount won out. Now they're having all kind of problems and issues. Check it out.
At 5, the Paramount Warner Brothers Discovery merger now faces an antitrust fight that could delay the deal into next year. A new LA County report says the merger could endanger thousands of local entertainment jobs over the next 3 years, but challenges within the Hollywood job market aren't new. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon live in Studio City, breaking down what many in the entertainment world are already facing. Rachel.
Hey, Christine. Yeah, people here in film and television have long said it's been difficult these days to afford to stay here in Los Angeles, especially with less entertainment jobs in this immediate area. We've also talked to many people who say they've been looking for a job in film and television for several years now.
It's been horrible. I tried to get back into it.
Stephen Calabro had been a film editor in Los Angeles for well over a decade. But for the last few years, he says he, along with many others with film and TV backgrounds, have had a rough time finding a job.
All my connections, everybody I know, when I would call them, it would seem like they would say, wow, I was going to call you. Or they'd say, wow, they only hired 2 or 3 people on this whole job when it used to be 6 or 7.
The Hollywood job market could get even worse. That's according to a new report by the Los Angeles County Department of Economic Opportunity. The study estimates approximately 4,500 direct film and TV jobs could be lost if the proposed Paramount Warner Brothers Discovery merger goes through. It also says the merger could wipe out billions of dollars in regional economic activity over the next 3 years.
The continued uncertainty is not good for workers.
LA Mayor Karen Bass discussing the dispute over the proposed merger during a press conference on Thursday.
Today, we are united around one clear message. It is time for all parties to come to the table.
So just how challenging has the job market been for those in the entertainment industry?
That have worked on major motion pictures in the last 7 years call me and say, can you find me a job as a bartender? Do you know anybody that's hiring for anything?
Bro, let me say this. Y'all have always been on the verge of being broke anyway. Struggling actor has always been a thing, right? As times evolved, as technology evolved, as streaming started to take over and all of that stuff, what did y'all think was going to happen? Listen, this don't even have anything to do with just Paramount itself. Paramount is trying to merge, and then ultimately they do the same thing that every other company tries to do. When Discover and Capital One decided that they wanted to merge, what did they start talking about? Synergies. I tell y'all all the time, it's called synergies. What is synergies? Synergies are, listen, we want your catalog. We don't necessarily want your people. We don't want your movie studios. We want all of this stuff. We're not interested in all of that, right? We don't want to duplicate the workforce. We're not looking to take on all of your workers. We're interested in your assets, right? We're interested in your assets. You want me to break it down differently? Okay. I always like to break stuff down from a relationship perspective. When guys get into relationships with women, they're not necessarily interested in their children. As a matter of fact, sometimes they'll say, and I know guys that have done this, I mean, they probably better off with their father anyway. They're interested in her assets. They're not interested in her children. Now, some guys decide to take it on, and then they wind up failing miserably. But they're interested in her assets. They're not interested in her children. They're not interested in her baggage. They're not interested in her mother. They're not interested in all of that stuff, right? From a relationship perspective. Is that better for y'all? But in every single industry, right? If a car company, for example, partners with, merges with, or buys another car company, what happens? You think that they're trying to take their entire workforce? You think that they're interested in their entire dealership network? They're not. So what are they interested in? They're interested in the brand. They're interested in the assets. They're interested in their customers. They're interested in acquiring acquisitions and taking over certain aspects of the business. Now, what are they going to do? They're going to start having these synergies where they basically integrate things, and they're going to cut costs, and they're going to try to reproduce those same vehicles to look differently, but on the same platform, right? The Lamborghini Urus is produced on the same platform as the Audi. BMW is producing similar assets, similar things for the Rolls-Royce. Volkswagen parts is in all of them. They make the same parts, some of the same screens. The same screen that's in the Taycan is the same screen that's in the Macan. It's all the same. The Expedition is the Navigator is just a more luxury Expedition. The Escalade is nothing more than a Yukon Denali. Same engines, same layout. As a matter of fact, sometimes you can go down the street and you can see an old Escalade. You can see the old ones, or you can see an old Yukon and they swapped out the lights with Escalade lights. They're not interested in everything that you're producing. When I worked at the banks, banks is notorious for takeovers. And what would they do? They buy specific assets from the banks. Hey, listen, we want your mortgage warehousing. Hey, listen, we want, mortgage lending. Hey, we want your credit card business. Hey, we want this customer base. We want this, we want that. But we're not necessarily interested in your people. And so whenever that would happen, what's the first thing that people would do? They would start to panic. You know why? Because that was their only source of income. And so they started to ask questions. Well, are we going to be safe? They're looking for assurance. Now in Hollywood, everything has always been up and stuck. That's why they call them struggling actors. You always had to get a bartending job. And so they said, oh man, I don't know if we're ever going to make it in the industry. It's over. It's over. It's over. Hollywood is winning when it comes to, not Hollywood, but the film industry, and that we back in the movie theaters, baby. Listen, the movie theaters is booming, but they're not necessarily producing movies in Hollywood. You know why? Because first of all, it costs too much money in order to go over there and do it. They can shoot in Melbourne, they can shoot in Atlanta, they can shoot in Philadelphia, they shoot in Detroit, they shoot in all of these different places all over the world. They don't need to spend the same amount of money to produce a mid flick in Hollywood. Hollywood is dead. It's over. I'm thankful for the opportunity to have toured Paramount Studios, and I went all the way, and they gave me the whole tour. I'm very thankful to Dr. Phil before he moved to Dallas that I was able to go and tour the whole Paramount Studios and see how they got stuff set up and all of that stuff. But it's over, bro. It's over. It's completely over. The smart CEOs know that you don't have to maintain all of that stuff no more anyway. Everything is a la carte.
For anything.
Steve says time is ticking for him and others trying to find a
Steve, you old. It's over for you, bro.
Job so they can afford to stay in Los Angeles.
I've been unemployed for 3 years. I say,
if you've been unemployed for 3 years and you still can't find a job, guess what? Just like any other industry, it's time to pivot, big dog. Respectfully. If you can't find a job, AI is not replacing CGI right now. It's not. This is just the truth. If you can't find a job after 3 years, it's time to go. It's time to move on, bro. It's over. It's over.
all my money, thank God, but it's running out.
He says he's trying to make it work in years past, taking jobs in hospitality and tech. Neighbors even setting up an online fundraiser so he can afford his home.
Save Steve's home after his heroic act. Jesus, Lord have mercy.
If I don't get a job in the next month and a half, they're going to take my house.
You need to go and work. What is wrong with these? Are these people stupid? Did I miss something? Are these people out of their minds? Bruh, if I get laid off, I am up and stuck tomorrow. I'm gone. I'm on the move. I'm not waiting. I'm not trying to figure it out. I'm not going to wait for something to happen to me and all of that stuff. I'm gone. If I don't get a position, if I get laid off and that's my only source of income, I'm already up. I'm already up and stuck, bro. I mean, 3 years. 3 years and you're losing your home? Are people retarded, bro?
So I'm planning.
So what have you been doing for the last 3 years?
I'm going to sell if I have to, I'll sell my house and I'm going to leave the state because there's just nothing here.
Now, that LA County report we just referenced right there also says that if the merger does go through, thousands of more indirect jobs could also be at risk. By indirect, they mean things like jobs related to transportation providers, prop houses, as well as vendors. Reporting live in Studio City, I'm Rachel Aragon, Fox 11 News.
As you said, tough times for so many.
What we are talking about today is a big deal here in Hollywood. We're learning more about what State Attorney General Rob Bonta might want Paramount to do in order to allow that merger with Warner Brothers to go through, Laz.
Yeah, and look, just as a little bit of setup here, all soap operas rely on conflict. All right, so the plot twist du jour is, as you heard from Lauren Lister just a few minutes ago, Attorney General Rob Bonta of California calling off a planned meeting with Paramount executives today over possible settlement of California's and 11 other states' lawsuit seeking to stop the $111 billion takeover of Warner Brothers Discovery by Paramount. So why did things fall apart? Well, according to Bonta, it was because Paramount leaked details of a possible settlement in advance of the meeting and maybe possibly mischaracterized some of that. So what are the conditions on the table? Well, we don't know for sure, but the Wall Street Journal reported over the weekend that California is proposing that Paramount sell off some of its TV assets and keep Paramount and Warner as separate studios as conditions for ending the lawsuit.
Hell no.
Bonta said Paramount.
Hell no. Then that defeats the whole purpose of the merger. You got to keep them as separate studios? Nah, that's a no-go, bro. Netflix might have dodged the bullet here.
Isn't showing good faith in these negotiations. Paramount, for its part, said in a statement that it was not responsible for leaking any details in advance, and it has already signaled, in any case, a reluctance to embrace any major changes to this huge deal. So California, other states are basically making big asks here. First of all, keeping the two studios separate, well, that would eliminate possible savings, economies of scale, from combining the operations. And those are the kind of savings that make this massive deal financially feasible. Keep in mind that even if the deal goes through under all of Paramount's hopes, it would still leave the studio with about $80 billion in debt. So anything that messes with those finances just raises that number. Not a good thing if you are sitting on the Paramount side of the fence. And it's possible that the state would want Paramount CEO David Ellison to sell off key TV properties such as CNN, such as CBS.
Oh, all of that's going to be bad. All of that is going to go bad, baby.
Would Ellison be willing to go along with that? Probably not, by all accounts. He and his father, Oracle founder Larry Ellison, are keen to make a big splash in the media world. That is, the news world. And selling off trophy properties like that, probably not on the table for these guys.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I will keep you guys in a loop on what's going on. Again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Thomas, what up, Thomas Bell? What up, Thomas? What up, Big Dog? Says, do you still do mentorship calls? Yeah, email me at AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. I love movie theaters. I will be there every month. Well, I am about to switch it up, actually. I'm about to start going to Cosm. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun time, baby, over at the Cosm Studios right here in downtown Detroit. That's going to be lit. I'm going to see The Matrix. I haven't been able to get any tickets to see Harry Potter yet. I've never seen Harry Potter before, but I am looking forward to it.
Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, who leads our coverage of Apple, broke this story Friday, but I want to recap it. This is just reprioritizing, right, Mark? What are the details of the report you put out?
Yeah, so Apple's cutting jobs in 3 central areas. One team is the Vision Pro team, so the group called VPG responsible for the headset. The second is Siri, and the third is a team called Intelligent Systems Experiences, which really comes down to integrating AI features through the operating system and services. So let me start with the Vision Pro. This is more of your traditional layoff where they're cutting teams and scaling back things in this particular area. So they had a team working on gaming initiatives for the Vision Pro. That team has been completely dismantled and laid off. The second is their immersive video group. This is the team making virtual reality videos for the Vision Pro, one of the top selling points. They're scaling that back, they're cutting jobs there, they're cutting investments there, and they are going to drastically reduce the number of videos they produce in-house for the Vision Pro, instead pushing that off to third parties. For Siri and the Intelligent Systems Experience team, that's part of the software engineering organization, they're cutting jobs there as well to open up roles for people who can work on the new underlying infrastructure for Siri AI. So looking to develop faster, looking to bring in talent that is more specific towards that new infrastructure for that new voice assistant and their upgraded Apple Intelligence, which launches this fall for the first time.
I also really enjoyed this weekend's Power On. What you were writing about is the idea of Apple's foldable phone and how this product could bring some magic back to the Apple story. You've been pulling on your experience with Samsung's foldable. You've been thinking about what you know of the details.
I'm just personally not sold on the Apple foldable phone. Somebody in the chat says, AD, do you still use your Apple Vision Pro? Leslie uses it. Leslie came and got it from me out of my room. And so Leslie is Vision Proing it up all the time. And she loves this Vision Pro that she's using. So I no longer have a Vision Pro because Leslie is over there doing everything that she wanted to do on the Vision Pro. I actually liked working on it or working with it, like as a part of my workflow. But I'm not fully sold on the foldable phone. The form factor, holding this, just having this device in general is everything, bro. And I got 2 of them. I keep 2 phones with me, and this is more than sufficient for everything that I need to do and everything that I want to do. So, I'm just not fully sold on the whole idea of a foldable phone. I don't know how that, because usually, even if it's an emerging technology, even if it's something new, I can give up one phone and switch that out with the foldable. I probably will get it just because, at heart, I'm an engineer. At heart, I will always want the latest tech so that I could be able to evaluate it and, use it and all the way. Yeah, I know it's going to break sales records, and I'm going to probably trade in one of my phones to get it, but I'm just not sure what the use case is. I'm not sure if I am the target demographic for a foldable phone. You know what I'm saying? A foldable phone to me kind of seemed like an Android-y type of person. You know what I'm saying? Like you see a person sitting y'all ever see a person like when you go into the coffee shop to get your coffee or something like that and they're doing something quirky as fuck? Like that's what I kind of look at the foldable phone thing for. Because I already got an iPad Pro. And I use the Apple Pencil for it. I got an iPad Pro. And this is awesome. And I get to carry this without having to put any kind of laptop inside of my backpack. Because I can have the laptops here for the different workstations. And then I got a laptop, at the crib, at the different cribs. But I don't have to carry that big ass laptop inside of my book bag, and I can just carry my Apple Pro with me. So what I'm trying to figure out is, what do I need a foldable phone for? The use case is 2-in-1, and you don't have to carry 2 different devices with you. No, I don't want something foldable. I want... The only thing foldable I want, to be honest with you, is the old phones where I can bang out on somebody. But I don't. I don't know, bro. I'm not seeing it. I don't see what the use case is for it. I'm going to get it because that's what I do. And I always like to get the latest technologies. For whatever reason, I'm having trouble bringing myself to ever get an Android.
Of the Apple foldable. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty pumped for the foldable phone. I think it's going to do particularly well for Apple in China as a status symbol. You know, the amount of people who use foldable phones globally is not high. It's about 1.5% of the global phone market is foldable phones. But it's actually double that in China, right? So the vast majority of foldable phones in use in the world are in China. So that's going to be pretty successful for Apple there, I believe. But I'm really into the size of it. I'm really into how you have this small thing that can fit in your pocket and you open it up and it's about the size of an iPad mini. So all in all, pretty pumped for this new device and looking forward to getting my hands on it in just a few weeks.
Every Sunday, Mark publishes Power On, and I really recommend you subscribe and read it, packed full of detail.
Let me see if I can find something on it. You know, you got to actually find somebody that's a reputable person that speaks on it. I mean,
might launch next month, and it could cost you almost Apple's first.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, bro. I'm just not.
First, though, I will say that a lot of people still in a massive the iPhone 18.
Let me see. Let me see if I can get this up on the screen. Maybe this will help us out a little bit.
Series comes out in under a month now. So in this video, I want to go over the latest leaks and rumors for both the iPhone 18 Pro and the all-new iPhone Fold. Across the board, Apple has already confirmed that both of these new models are on the way. We have fresh information about the final design and colors for 2026, and the batteries are getting a huge jump on top of so much more. So first, let's begin with the iPhone 18 Pro, and then we'll take a closer look at the iPhone Fold a little bit later in the video. Sources reiterate that the iPhone 18 also tell us that Apple is absolutely increasing the depth of the iPhone 18 Pros by increasing the thickness just a little bit by about 0.25 millimeters. And no, the reason for this is the same thing about the iPhone Fold to an even more severe degree, that trying to get your hands on Apple's first foldable phone right out of the gate is going to be pretty near impossible. So much to the point that Apple has been weighing a launch in the US only at first before rolling out their folding iPhone to any other country. Now, it's unclear at this point if that's actually going to happen, but as we go through these iPhone Fold rumors, I think you'll see just how complex this is and why it's taking Apple a bit longer to wrap up mass production. First, though, I will say that a lot of people still are skeptical that Apple's releasing a folding phone, and the evidence is all coming from Apple themselves. I mean, in one of the latest iOS 27 betas, they make direct reference to an iPhone with 2 separate batteries. And I gotta say, looking at a standard iPhone with only 1 battery ever in history that fold, and that would make a lot of sense to have a 2 battery device for a folding phone. I just wanted to lead with this because this is not like a rumor, because recently we have seen a lot of leaks from case manufacturers.
I don't know, man. I don't want to be walking around with a goddamn tablet inside of my pocket, bro. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. Maybe it's just not for me. I like sleek. I like the iPhone Air. The iPhone Air was super dope. I don't have any use for it, so I didn't buy it, but I think the iPhone Air was pretty cool. But I don't know, man. I'm just not. Whatever reason, I'm pretty sure that it'll be, pretty popular. I'll order it and I'll see whatever it is that I can do. But what am I gonna get rid of as a result of it? You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get rid of my iPad. I'm not gonna do any of that. And I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm a hardcore Apple user, meaning that I'm actually working religiously and hard and a lot heavy on all of the stuff that I got going on, and I could see how it could be meaningful for some other people. But I don't know. I'm just not seeing it for myself personally. Not seeing it personally. All right. Great show today, guys. Phenomenal show. All right. Listen, we got after hours tonight. Make sure y'all in the Patreon. I rock out with y'all. I love y'all. Y'all are the greatest group of people on the face of the earth. And we're going to get it in. We're going to talk about all of the things that's meaningful to y'all tonight. I'm out. Peace.